deadly creature.
Howdy, folks. Welcome to Adventures in Alberon, Courts of Everest. I am Joe Treff, your DM this evening. I did change the name and joining me are my friends Matt, Vincent, Tina, Kara, Hannah, and Alana. Hopefully you all had a good Thanksgiving. I'm going to slide a little bit more center to this camera here. We did not play Mosaic Team 5 last night because there was Thanksgiving, but in place of that on YouTube, we had our very original 5th edition original. Kara, tell us what we did.
We cooked things.
That's what we did. In 5e D&D terms, we had a cooking competition in a one-shot set in Alberon. It featured quite a few of us around this table. Olive joined us as well, and we cooked against the very best cooks that Alberon had to offer. It's a very, very entertaining one-shot. You should check it out. It's on YouTube at Alberon RPG. We also have Instagram at Alberon RPG, where you can see the close-ups of battle maps like this one that we just ended on, which is sure featuring a lot more lava than it began with.
It's fine. It's
yeah.
weird.
But yeah, that is at Alberon RPG on Instagram. And then I think that's all the announcements that I have. And so with that, I can just get us into our introduction. I don't know where to put it. Here it is. Welcome back. So we'll just pick up right back where we left off. Give me just one moment. All right. Wandering Hearts, last that we played, you all stood on a stone platform in the heart of a volcano, rising inevitably toward a direct confrontation with a king of the fire giants, after slaying several others in your attempt to infiltrate, with various plans and hopeful outcomes, the volcanic city kingdom of Kuatar Artria. As you rose, you prepared, many of you preparing spells or other items, Billy, you preparing a speech. And upon arriving, when the king demanded that you explain what you had to offer them, Billy, you tried to persuade them that you all together could perhaps defeat the dragon who has risen to the north and reclaim their home as they had taken yours as well. You were unsuccessful, with the king telling you that they had but to build ships for Glacial Duneth, the Crimson Grin, who gathers a war host to the north, and then they planned to sail north, and they would once more have their home. The dreadnought that served as a bodyguard to this fire giant king charged forward, and you were engaged in combat. At first, things hung in your favor as you cornered one of these fire giants, this dreadnought, and engaged them at range. However, as the king cast Sunbeam and used that in their offhand while slashing Billy with their war axe, the tone shifted abruptly and the lava rose. Or you skipped across the lava, fighting as you went, but met your match, being knocked down by the fire giant king before being brought up, being knocked out again. Minka and Cheshire fell victim to the lava, with Cheshire dying outright. Valis, you caught a ride on top of one of the fire giants and used them to cross the gap, slaying them as they ran. Used your last 2 points of lay on hands to bring Minka back to life with 2 death failures already in the bank. Minka, in turn, using Revivify to bring Cheshire back from the dead, who flew up, carrying Minka out of the lava. With all of you now out of the immediate danger, the tides turned again, and it was ultimately Ori who landed the killing blow. But now, with the combat dying down, all of you can catch your breaths the lava seems to have, for this moment at least, eased in its rising. And that is where we begin this evening. Oop, that's my phone. I keep dropping.
Billy comes to consciousness and just shrieks. And looks over at Alina and kind of gestures her to come over. Thanks for taking that down.
Sorry,
So Alina sees that she's holding the prayer beads, which she had taken from the corpse of the fire giant king. So seeing Valis now back up, she tosses the prayer beads to Valis before going down, and painfully aware of the fact that she only has, I think, less than a minute left of flight, she's going to stay firmly not over lava at this time. But
Speaking of lava, is the lava still rising?
The lava seems to have eased, and Ari, as you look over, you seem to, I mean, it hasn't really been lapping. It's very firm in its makeup, but it doesn't seem to be coming any closer. You don't feel the heat increasing, at least.
I think
And I'm gonna look
I am
up.
still holding you, my God.
What are the other fires?
I'm sorry, you don't hide, please. You didn't let her go.
yeah.
Like,
Unless she asked, I'm not
we
putting
just
it.
killed their leader. What the fuck
go a
are they
little
doing?
higher,
now?
please?
When Billy gets Alina down here, she
try to get
sends
us.
a message to her and says,
I got nothing.
"We have their attention. Now is the time. Repeat after me."
And Alina's like, yeah, okay, I got this. And I think Alina is going to climb up to where the throne is.
Okay.
Does message have that? You know, you don't have to be like.
You have to be within 5 feet of each other.
Yeah. You actually have to be physically touching. You have to be holding one can, the other person has to hold the other.
I forgot how it works. Okay.
The material component, that bit of string, is actually what's holding it together.
Yeah, it's
anyway,
there are just 2 cups, and we have a string in between us,
cups and
and
copper
it's
wire.
definitely 120 feet. So
So
You just need to be in
Alina.
the right direction. You don't need to see the person.
Oh, thank you. Alina receives some guidance and climbs up onto the throne.
Okay. So as you're climbing up onto the throne, and the rest of you are kind of concentrating on Alina, or you look up, and the smoke from this place, as it like falls down, and above you, you can see the pyroclastic storm raging overhead and the lightning crackling down. A lot of that ash and soot getting in your eyes, and it's hard to see up too
Also,
much.
I'm like still kind of dying.
And you know,
Kind of dying.
All of us just a little.
there are many
blood from our
factors, but you don't
eyes.
see anything.
Like roll over on.
You don't even see the edge of the volcano. Alina, you climb up to the throne. Cheshire and Valis, what are you doing?
Still flying, holding Mingo. I'm not putting her down unless she tells me to. And, just kind of slowly rising up a little bit.
Okay.
I'm holding the prayer bead, so I guess in my head I'm gonna think. I don't know if I need to speak out loud, just think thoughts, but like, I'll just think like, "Lo, are you there?"
Okay. Give me 1 second here.
What's up, dude?
Oh, there's so much going on right now.
there's so many conversations happening.
Dude, you fixed
Oh,
that.
it's me, the guy in the prayer bead.
I so badly want to make that happen, but no. That's right.
Whatever sentient magical item Billy comes across is going to be that.
So you hold on to these prayer beads. Valis, as you hold them in your hands, this is a necklace of woven silver string that has only, I believe, 1 bead left, a black amber bead that you can see. It's 1 ivory bead that is left.
What about the cracked yellow diamond?
Oh, and the cracked yellow diamond. Yeah, you're correct. The other ones have all been used. So as you hold it, what are you saying?
Hello, are you still there?
Okay. So you speak into this bead, or as you're kind of thinking in your head, and you had heard it a little bit before as you had been kind of riding on top of the fire giant. You got close to where these beads were, but the same voice speaks out to you, and you hear, "Well, it depends on what you mean by here, really. If you mean by here, the ground that you're standing on, well, no, I suppose not. But if you mean here, in your hands, in these prayer beads, I'm still not quite sure if that would be yes. Who are you?"
My name is Valis Birchbillow. Who are you?
Valis. I knew a Valis once, you know. This Valis, grew up near him, and near the Emerald Spire. He was a fine young boy, but ultimately hung out with the wrong sort of folk, you know. Are you like that? Are you like that, Valis Birch Billow?
I take a look around at my current open group. I'm like, still figuring that out.
Very nice. So you say that.
But who are you?
Well, my name is Javaris, and I'm many things. I'm a father. I'm a scholar. I'm a little bit of a baker, but never very good. I fish sometimes. I've been known to engage in the game of chess. A beautiful game. Do you play it? I was taught by my father. I don't think I ever played with Valis. Do you remember Valis that I spoke about? He had brown hair, sort of a short fellow.
That's not me.
Get the full hair out. The lower hair out.
I'm what Olive referred to as a Zorro-looking
In addition to being a baker, and he goes on to talk about the various birds that he really likes, and he just continues to carry on. He's a lot of things, and he goes on to really tell you all of them. You learn that he really tends to favor blackbirds for their keen intelligence, and at one point trained them to do many things. At this point, you've now reached like the top of this throne.
I've decided, can I have flown up instead of climbing up like a pause? Thank you.
Like 30 seconds has gone by.
I'll interrupt him at this point and say, Javaris, if I may interrupt you for a second.
The beaks are really quite sharp, though.
We're in a bit of a dire situation. You may have realized that ownership of these beads may have transferred hands from your previous owner. What was their name?
Arjan.
Arjan.
Yes.
Arjan and ourselves, and I think we kind of need to speak with the rest of Arjan's tribe. Is there anything that you can tell us about Arjan and his fire giant that might be able to help us not be killed by the rest of them?
Long ago, when Alberon was young,
Oh no.
the first age was known as the Age of Giants, and this is where the story would really begin. Armin, the Allfather, was the first giant, born from the stars in the sky, but likely one of the three prime gods, really. You know about them, of course. About Aurelian and Alcronin and all of them. We need to start at the beginning.
Do I know about this? Or is this all new?
Make a history check.
While all this is happening, Valis is just like getting a migraine staring at him.
Is any of this out loud, or is he
No,
just
it's
like...
all internal. This was Valis asking, hey, how do you make apple pie from scratch? And then being like, the Big Bang. And then-
Billy starts like transmitting the message.
And Alina is gonna just call out because she knows that there's like giants. She's gonna be like, giants of Karatara Traya, attend. And then when she's sure that she's got their attention, she is going to start saying what Billy's feeding her in giant.
Make a perception check.
I'm just like laying on my back, looking up, trying to see what's going on, and listening to this. But I still
Ooh,
don't
that's a
understand.
natural 1, boys. For a total of 9, though.
Okay. You look up, and at this moment, Ori,
Oh, no,
you're
sorry,
looking up,
total of 4.
and you can see there's like a little rock that kind of like falls away, and it lets a bunch of pebbles fall down. And so you shield your eyes. But for you, Alina, you're up a little bit higher, you're flying, and you just sprayed right in the face with a little bit of pebbles, and you can't see anything. You have to blink it out of your eyes. You're blinded for 6 seconds. Now you're fine. But your flight ends, and you have seen no fire giant, and you listen. And as your words echo and kind of die up in the smog, there is no response.
Okay, Alina's gonna be like, are they still there? Does anyone see other fire giants?
Look.
Make a perception check.
I want to make a fool of myself here.
Oh, that knocked into everything. So we're
13 for Billy.
All right.
Billy's concentrating. Real hard.
That is a, what'd you say?
24.
18.
Okay.
Can I take 20?
Next week in Starfinder, you can. But for right now, I would say Minka and Alina, the two of you can look up and be pretty confident that as you look around, and Cheshire, for you almost could swear that you maybe saw two of these glowing red eyes before they kind of turned and moved away, but now you see nothing. And all around the edge, it just is the kind of black storm overhead. And maybe Alina's words just going off into the air.
Alina's gonna be like, what do we do now? Do we not, I mean, if no one's here, then...
Using my eye for detail, can I spot any hidden creatures? Are they like actively hiding now? Or did they just disperse because we killed them?
Make another perception check with your eye.
Well, I guess it's... Could it be more of an insight? Like,
this was you walking and you press the joystick for your character to look around, and then you press right trigger for you to go into like detail. Go for it. You score.
This is a wrinkle I was not expecting.
All right. 22.
A 22. So with the 22, you look, and with your eye for detail, looking for hidden things, up here, kind of near this throne, there is a large right there. Yeah. There's a trio of levers that are kind of set into the throne to look almost like there are these kind of stone bumps along the side, but only through really being able to see kind of a gap between one of them. You can tell that they're separate actually and can be pulled out almost like a pinball knob.
And I saw the king move one of those levers, and that started the
correct
lava.
You also would see that there are a number of places where boulders have been pushed into place to kind of block off what at one point were openings.
Yeah.
Maybe 3 or 4 of them. On
like the sides here, right?
Up higher even.
Oh, okay.
But you don't see any of them populated by fire giants, and you don't see any up above. There doesn't seem to be an ambush at the moment.
Okay.
Do you tell any of us about these levers?
I'm gonna get up and make my way over to the levers to inspect them closer.
Okay. Anybody else doing anything? Oop, I'm just gonna knock that right down.
No. I think Alina is just like, I mean, Alina and Hannah both thought they knew how this was gonna start, but Alina's just like at a loss. So she's just standing there.
Make movements towards it.
So Alina stands there looking up,
see what, like,
into the ash.
My trajectory. I don't know. Not really.
What? Wait, what?
I'm also gonna smell.
Okay. Megan, well, with your 18 as a perception check, as you smell, there is an overwhelming scent of, I mean, Megan, you're pretty familiar with, like, what these kind of chemicals are. It's a lot of things that probably shouldn't really be breathed in for an extended period of time. And as many of you are injured, it's hard to tell really who's coughing because of, internal bleeding and the regular things, and who is kind of becoming a little bit more sick. But several of you are exhausted. And you'd imagine spending too much more than like an hour within this place will continue to sack that effect.
Okay, we should go. And then I continue to stop breathing. I will only be breathing while I speak,
Taking
and then the rest of the time.
So how do we? Do we go back that way? Lava.
So I noticed Ori looking at levers.
It's really anticlimactic.
What is your passive perception?
So excited for your speech. That's what Alina says.
Perception is 13.
Nope.
I would go over and
Well, you guys seem to
Look
have
at
done a
them
good
and be
job,
like-
right? Everyone's doing okay.
look over here. This is what he used to raise the lava.
So Ori tells you about these levers.
Wait, what if pulling the lever makes it go up more?
I didn't pull it.
Can you tell us?
I was inspecting.
Can you tell us what the current
where it's coming
orientation of the 3 levers?
Yeah.
The orient.
Can you tell where it's coming from?
So there's one that has, think about it as 3 levers, 1, 2, and 3, right? The first one seems to have 3 positions that it could be in. At the moment, it is all the way up. It could be in the middle, it could be down. At the moment, it's all the way up.
Yeah.
The middle one seems to have 2 different orientations. At the moment, that is all the way up. And then the one all the way on the far right-hand side has 3 different orientations, and that one's right in the middle. There's no labels, there's no kind of symbology that you can see. They're very well worn, and so these appear to be the kind of things that are used so frequently that there doesn't really need to be like labels.
Hey, Javaris, do you know what these levers do? When pulled?
Do I know?
At that point, he says, Well, and then they created the halls of hatred. I'm sorry. What was your new question?
My new question. These 3 levers here, do you know what they do when they're pulled or set into specific positions?
Oh, these are quite fascinating. These are a giant design, of course, and you can tell because of the exquisite work done on both the stone and the steel. But these are biooperative pull levers. You can use them in a multitude of ways, but these seem to be set to, the way that you can typically tell is based on the culture. For instance, in the Kismet Islands, they use many of these.
Ori, pull one.
Do I remember?
But none of us hear this, right? So, like, we ask him a question, and then he's just like,
Yeah.
I remember which one was the one that controlled the lava.
Make a flat intelligence check. There's a lot going on.
Yeah. No, I don't. I don't fucking know shit.
You move the hand moving.
So this is the correct orientation, though, for each of them?
Yeah, I like that it's a gear shift box, but yeah.
What you do?
Yours is a lot. Yours, I like that it has a shift part. It doesn't have like the shift. It really is just a crank, pull the lever kind of deal, but it has very clearly these like stations that it locks into.
Cool.
Yeah.
Then I'm going to tentatively pull the third one down,
Okay.
ready to push it back up if it starts to do something I don't like.
Okay. So you pull the third one down.
This one that's currently in the middle.
For the rest of you, you like are watching. You ask, Valis, what do you think these are? Valis just kind of stares at the prayer booths for a while, and that's not especially helpful. And so Ori just pulls a lever. There is a brief, and for all of you, the ground shakes, not strong enough like it had previously to make you need to take a strength saving throw, but you do need to catch yourself for a moment. And Ori, you can hear this sound almost before you can see the effect, but this almost suctioning sound. And it's not like a liquid. This is the sound of like a solid being scraped along as the stone hardens and moves through whatever channel is pulling it down. There must be a physical force that's doing it as well. And at about this time, as you are like seeing it lower and the lava does begin to lower, you can see elements of stone glowing red hot and cracked in places as it recedes. The platforms are all still there. The elevator is not. And as the lava kind of separates, you can see there is just a solid kind of steel cap glowing hot. And as the lava recedes down to where it was at the beginning, that slowly opens up and you can see the elevator seems to have opened all the way up before. Kind of to the original state where it's flat at the
It's
bottom.
all the way down at the bottom.
Correct.
Now. So that's kind of like it was like a drain almost for part of it.
No, that was closed while the lava drained and then opened up again.
Okay.
And then for you, as you are like seeing this process finish, those levers switch in orientation all the way down. All 3 of them.
Wait. They all switch down into the off
so
position.
they all go like, good job.
Okay,
In the
so
off
that was
position,
like a
sure.
full, or all into the downward orientation.
Correct.
Huh. Okay, so that one might be a full reset, but also the. Okay, so seeing that, I'm guessing the middle one is just off on, so that's got to be like, or it's binary, so. That's probably controlling the elevator up and down. No, because the elevator stayed neutral, right?
But anyways, the
I'm gonna
first
pull the
lever,
other one up to the middle. The first one.
the very first one up to the middle.
Oh,
Not as exciting as I thought it was going to be.
Are any of these levers particularly dangerous to us that we should know about?
Only the third one, really, for you see, and he begins to talk about the things that Ori has already kind of discovered. As you pull this first lever all the way to which position?
Middle.
To the middle position. Just like the very beginning of your time when you got here, you hear now these stone pistons begin to work, and in steps.
Okay.
Like,
So that's
so
like
they all slide down, and the next one comes up, and you watch as at the very, very end, one of those stone platforms rises to the top. Not the full platform like you all arrived on, but just this kind of rupee-shaped step, and then it slowly sinks back down.
Oh, the elevators?
Yeah,
So I got them working normally again.
correct.
Assuming that I lift it up all the way, it's going to do the full pillar thing that brought us up. I'm not gonna do that. Now I want to see what this middle one is.
Hey, can you just hold on? Just wait for 1 second.
And Alina translates for Billy as Billy shouts out, I am Billy Red Thistle of the Blackened Forest. We seek to do battle with the dragon on the peak and retake and right all wrongs. If you wish to join us, get word to the Emerald Spire.
Okay.
Hopefully, at least someone is listening.
Is there any indication that anyone's
Is
heard
that
anything?
With your checks, hard to tell.
She was saying it in she was messaging it to me in common, and I was translating it to
Okay.
Giant.
Ori wouldn't necessarily be on board with fighting a dragon right now.
But you also understood it because I read the rules for tongues, and everyone heard Belly's speech in common, so you would have heard that in common.
Oh,
But you said, because the end bit was get word to the Emerald Spire, right?
Correct. Send word to the Emerald Spire.
pretend like I didn't hear it because I'm too busy focusing on these here levers.
I think at this point, Minka's just like doing like mild druid craft of a cool air around Cheshire herself.
The last one,
Swamp cooler up there.
I remember the iris closing up above.
Not an iris up
Or not
above.
an iris, but like it closed off a bit.
They closed up openings that led into the side of this volcano.
Right, and that was just them moving the
Correct.
boulders. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna flip up the middle one, see what
Okay.
happens.
You flip up the middle one, and you hear the sound of these stone steps freeze. They kind of grind to a stop.
Okay. Gonna do it again.
They
Bring it
go
back.
right back to their kind of pattern. There is there's a brief moment where you can hear them kind of like, this is you turn the computer off, like force reset. It kind of and like resets itself back up.
Give it a second, yeah.
So yeah,
All right, I think I figured it out.
We need to get out of
Javaris.
here.
Not to be the
You'll have to
negative
excuse me for a
Nancy,
second. I need to
our
talk to my
goal wasn't to
compatriots.
get
Oh,
the
yes, of
article,
course.
but for them it was to get the giants out.
Yeah.
That wasn't so like.
Okay, so any
what we're
ideas?
doing. No.
I feel like we have options.
Well,
We might want to get away from the toxic air.
This seems like a bad choice right here.
Is there a path for us to get back to the elevator?
yeah. Now that there is, you do, and you won't need to make checks for this now that you are not in combat. You've seen Ori do a more complicated version of this, but there are stones and steps that you can take that won't be especially hazardous, with the exception
Cooled
of
off enough after having been covered in lava.
with the exception of Alina, who is not resistant to fire. Towards the very end of it, there is a 30-foot span where you will be taking damage if you don't figure out some way to resist it or elevate yourself.
Fire Giant King and the Dreadnought, now are their bodies showing here?
The dreadnought body is completely submerged in the lava.
well, isn't the lava now lowered?
Yeah, and so like has gone with whatever that seems to have taken the body as well.
Is Cheshire still flying?
The fire giant king is there.
I would like to lead
Cheshire's
the
a-
Fire Giant King.
Alina's
Make an
going
investigation
to
check.
ask Cheshire if she would mind giving her a lift over the last little bit.
It's okay. Thank you, Cheshire. It's up to you.
It is up to you. It's just you're really good at flying, so you know I can't fly anymore. Mine ran out, but you're still chugging along. It's awesome.
Massive.
Okay, that's you know what? That's fair.
I like that. So you kind of looking through the fire giant's belongings. The pockets are huge. And it's kind of like there are folds in there. You're not sure if you can really see everything, but you don't really find much. As you are like fully inside one of the pockets, like your whole body fits, the beads just go, Valis, not the troublesome one. What are you looking for in here? It's quite dark.
Well, if we might need to explore the rest of this mountain, perhaps a key of some sort, in case there are locked doors that we might run into. Do you recall if Alberon was his name?
Arjan.
Arjan. Did Arjan have any?
Most of Arjan's things, mind you, giants, they think of things in a very different way than you and I because of the ordning. Are you familiar with the ordning, Valis?
Am I familiar with the ordning?
Make a history check.
Oh, so many history checks in your future.
Oh my god, 12.
No. You are vaguely aware that it has to do with giants.
Okay. I am not, but I don't think we have time. I would love to hear about it sometime.
Valis, there's always time for learning. Long ago,
I know to that.
he tells you about the first stage. And this is a very familiar speech, almost word for word, because you heard it just about a minute ago. You could almost recite it. But he tells you about the first stage, and that begins to go on.
Careful,
Billy-
you might be the guy in the prayer beads at some point. Finally, I have told my story. I am free.
Once he tells somebody the entire world history,
Yeah.
he's free.
And you're in the beads now. Sorry.
Before Billy walks away from the area, she's gonna like feel in her mouth for any loose teeth, pull one out if it's loose, and just kind of like leave it somewhere near the throne.
Okay. With your previous combat, yeah, no problem. You can reach in and just take
Your pick.
pull one out. You taste iron in your mouth, but
canine.
no problem.
I gotta keep the fronts intact.
At the point at which Cheshire goes to pick up Alina, while they're flying, Alina's gonna say to Cheshire, I think you're right. I mean, we haven't yet done what we were supposed to do. I was thinking maybe we could see if we could use the sending stone to see if Hearsom's, gonna be satisfied.
I mean, it don't matter to me. You're the one who's all lovey-dovey with this dude. But
Okay, but between us, like, kind of not anymore. I don't know.
What did
Maybe
the
I can tell
fire
you about it
giant
sometime
say
when we're
to
not
you?
flying, but what?
What did the fire giant say to you?
We're flying.
What did the fire? What are you guys doing up there?
But listen, I'm just saying, I think you have a point. Like, we're supposed to be doing a job and we haven't done it yet. And also, there's those people that were being fed to dinosaurs. So as they're flying, Alina's basically just like unloading all the things that she's like all the things that we still haven't done. And she points out that Alina's buddy with Hearson, and so Alina's like, actually, like, I kind of would like to talk about that with somebody, and you're listening now, so.
do you smell that?
The what?
The smell. Minka didn't smell it. Do you smell it?
Do I smell
It's
it?
like spicy. It's like
Minka, with your a lot of you have made perception checks. I'd say Minka, it seems like it's gone now.
Do I smell? So she asked me do you smell it? Do I smell anything?
Yeah, I mean, so like very specifically, she's saying it smells spicy. And
Yeah.
smelling around, I mean, you smell a lot of different things. It smells like rotting eggs and like sulfur and like all different kinds of kind of like ash and soot.
Yeah.
It's hard to really make a perception check. I don't think you've made one yet.
Natural 20.
Natural 20. You smell an absence of spice.
Oh,
There is no kind of cooking spice that you can smell around.
I don't think I smell it.
weird.
That has derailed Alina quite a bit, and so now she's just flies the rest of the way in silence.
No worries.
Cheshire's mission accomplished.
Sorry.
Are you all making your way over to the elevator? Okay. So, is anybody doing anything in this room before you do that?
Yeah, Alina's gonna say to Valis, she's gonna be like, hey, do you think we should check in with Hearsome?
Oh, yes. Put down the beads for a second, take out the sending stone.
And then there was the, and then you just put it away. There's the voice for a second. But the stone glows once and then again, and then it holds steady, and you can hear on the other side, Valis, or I hope this is Valis.
This is Valis.
So you're alive.
We are alive.
Splendid.
We've killed the Arjan. How do you pronounce his name again?
Arjan.
Arjan, Fire King, and another fire giant. We now sit in his throne room, and I think there might have been an audience, but now there seems to be no fire giants about, and we're not sure what to do next. Have you any thoughts?
Well, no fire giants is splendid. That's the entire idea and the reason that you went. So congratulations. I would say leave.
We don't know if there's still fire giants here.
Did you obtain the beads?
I have the beads. Yes.
Excellent. So you've
There is quite a talkative individual within the beads.
Hang on one second.
No.
Who goes by the name of Javaris.
Okay. Hang on.
Oh, that's where he's been.
That's why he hasn't shown up for Sunday class.
Oh, that guy. Oh, this is double-sided. That's what happened to my notes. Okay. Well, yes. Before they belonged to King Coalmonger, those beads belonged to Alberon's dullest scholar, Javaris Vondergaunt. Pair of beads of the memory-altered duller doesn't just have the same sing, you know? But first things first, I would leave Kuritar Artraya. Brisari will be absolutely thrilled that you were able to free his home from the fire giants. I believe that you came by through a ship, correct? One suspended on a wave. If you could make your way there and look towards the material plane, there should be an island only a few hundred feet. It will be a swim. You can no longer walk on the water past the wave, but for most of you, that should be fine. And as long as that pigeon pear tree is still there, I should be able to pick you up.
Did the rest of the group hear the stunning stone or just me?
I believe just you.
Okay.
It's only whoever's touching it.
Okay. So I relay that.
Alina's like,
I relay that to the group then.
do we know?
We encountered some individuals here who were held captive, and it doesn't seem right to leave them here as well.
What sort of individuals?
Humanoids.
Humanoid. I think there was. What was there?
Valis, there are a great many things that could be classed as humanoids. Are these individuals that you are familiar
The tiefling
with?
got killed.
No, they were not people we were familiar with, but they seemed like other.
All I wrote was humanoids.
I think there might have been an elf, possibly a
There was a tiefling that got
tiefling.
eaten.
Alina's like, tell him that it seemed like they were just holding people to feed to the T-Rex,
It seemed like they were capturing people and feeding them to a pet T-Rex of theirs,
which we killed.
which is now dead as well.
Yeah.
Well, splendid. And Tyrannosaurus Rexes do require a tremendous amount of meat to feed. So that does make sense. You've killed the Fire Giant King and you've obtained the prayer beads, so you've done everything that you must. If there's further things that you must do, please attend to those. I would recommend, personally, learning more about individuals before you free them. Is there anything else?
Nope. So go to the ship, look towards the material plane, swim to the island,
Yes. And
pigeon pear tree.
yes.
Do we know what a pigeon pear tree looks like? Like, did we see it on the way in?
Pigeon pears.
You had seen kind of this like island swathed in mist, and there was like seaweed between you and it, but you didn't. I mean, it's pretty far away.
All right.
We're a bit wary, so we may rest before then. Should we encounter anything, we'd be unprepared for it. So,
Indeed.
yeah.
Well, very well. Please let me know when you plan on moving, and I will meet you when you reach the island.
Okay. Thank you, Hairstem.
We have to find a Thorian too.
Ori is unsettled by the lack of giants after killing the Giant King, and so looking out for any signs of any that are still around as we head down.
Hey, that place
Did they
has...
unseal the doors on the way down and stuff?
No.
That kind of stuff. Okay.
As you move down, with like Valis talking on the sending stone, as you are all moving down, you do notice that there are these doors, and where the stones kind of stop tends to be at one of these kind of levels, but they have been sealed off. When you get to each of these, you don't hear anything beyond. There's no movement that you can necessarily see. Here and there, you can see gaps. For instance, right below the area that you had been in, you can see there seems to be like large sort of iron ingots and things like that just beyond, and other things that are kind of stacked into that door. But it's sealed off by a boulder at the moment. That's pretty big.
Hey, that place that Athorian got those cloaks from.
Visitor center.
There's probably someplace protected near there that's small enough for us and not giants. It might be a good option. We can't keep moving like this.
I agree.
I need to resummon rest.
We all need to rest. We're all pretty charred.
And then you kind of reach the bottom of this area. And are you all going out into the...
To the commerce area?
Yeah.
This is where we
Goes
fought the
below.
T-Rex now, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
Down to the Churn Scald and Feydark outpost. That's not on this elevator, right?
Correct. Or no, sorry, you can if you want to continue going.
No.
I say we go around the area where we got like the visitor center and
But the treasury and the
there,
living area
like,
were
first
both
and
sealed
foremost.
off
I'm
still.
happy with that.
Okay.
Let's at least check it out.
And we're gonna keep our eyes open for fire giants and
So
hellhounds.
My eyes have
Actively
never been
perceiving.
opener. Active perception.
So where are you all going to?
I think the visitor center or like to start.
Okay.
I think maybe. Well,
Looking for a Thorian when we get down.
we told Arthurian to keep an eye on where the prisoners were.
Which was off
Maybe
in
we
that
should-
direction.
We
Right.
should check in with Arthurian first and then go to the visitor center.
I would very much
on the
prefer
way.
to just sleep
Yeah.
first.
Because what if we find a Thorian and he's in trouble? We won't be able to help him.
Well, if any of the fire giants are still here, it's most likely that they're up in the living quarters or the treasury, probably clearing that out.
Well, the forge's quiet for now. I guess if we hear it going again, we'll know if they're still here.
All right. Okay. So, if we're heading towards the visitor, I'm just gonna take some chalk and try to like denote, in case Arthurian comes this way, that
We were here.
The king is dead.
Fire King dead.
Long live the king.
resting in
So you take your green chalk and you add those little symbols, no problem.
Yeah.
You put little, draw a little king with the X eyes and the tongue sticking out.
So good.
No problem.
Do we see a Thorian anywhere?
Everybody make a perception check.
I'm looking.
This is as you walk and you make your way through the city, kind of approaching the place that you know the visitor center to be. You can see the flags kind of in the distance, so it makes it easy to find.
I'm gonna use my inspiration on
23.
23?
Right? Ooh.
Also 23.
10.
27.
Oh, ho, ho.
Just wanted to see things, guys.
Valis, Cheshire?
Oh, bad.
Okay.
I just totally forgot that I made one because it was so bad. 6.
No worries. Okay. Just go like this real quick, Vincent. No, I'm kidding. So most of you don't see very much. As you're walking, you see the darkened streets. You see the ruins of the buildings around and elements of wreckage that have been swept away from the streets. For Minka and those who sort of rolled above the 23 area, you do notice off in the direction that Cheshire had lured a few people, there's just the smallest bits of movement. And for you, Billy, with a 27, gazing across this place, you catch the movement, and with this heightened sense of awareness that comes from being in battle, you can see at least 2 torches. And again, weird that they're being held, but they're certainly being held by fire giants. And you watch as they disappear. And this is kind of towards the east. And this stone is pushed into place. And this is like hundreds of feet away. You see this through a perfect lineup of like windows and masonry that's been destroyed. 27, pretty perfect. But now they're gone.
Is that blocking a way that we could get out?
It's not the way that you guys came in, but it's the way that Cheshire had lured people out of the immediate vicinity, yeah.
Okay.
But you make your way to the visitor center.
No sign of a Thorian.
No sign of a Thorian as you approach, and then no sign really of the fire giants. And as you go, you can see certainly the corpses that you left behind. No real care in disposing of them, very much as you left them.
Were there corpses? Because one of them got eaten and the others got led away, right?
No, from the T-Rex.
Yeah, there are
We're
massive.
staring right at like, I don't see anything.
Our
It's beheaded.
sins are wide open.
consider those to be bodies. There's
You
Billy, did you
approach,
tell us that they're sealing off another area? Okay.
and you can see again there are 2 of those flags that hang in this building, and actually 2 more of them that are within the actual wreckage themselves have been propped up in place and pretty recently. There's an area where debris is almost freshly swept away and almost footsteps. And I would say, Billy, for you with that perception check, you're the first person that notices that there is a small piece of parchment that has been pinned with a crossbow bolt into the space in the air, rock between those two flags. Okay. You can add a crossbow bolt to your inventory.
The paper falls to the ground. Unread.
Shred it up.
The piece of paper says, they left these folks chained up and unattended. They said they have a ship on the shore. I'm bringing them to the lava tubes, and then I'm getting myself out. There's a ship that floats in the waves. I'll be there for at least one more day. Athorians.
Billy shows the group.
Nice. Go with Orion. Hope we didn't just release a bunch of bad guys.
Wait.
I think I'm gonna think for a second and like look around the chamber and try to think if the fire giants could somehow set off the volcano. We would be screwed.
I mean, you only need a check for that, yeah.
Right.
Set off the volcano, yes.
Yeah. So like, I guess she's gonna try to think like, is there any way to like force an explode like a
Make a nature
volcanic
check.
eruption like that?
You're thinking maybe we should leave the volcano.
Seismic activity at the core.
Yeah.
And
That's a total of 19.
maybe a lever.
It would be really hard. I mean, that would either be incredibly powerful magic, and we're talking about like the kind of stuff that
Level
stories
13
are written
magic.
about,
Yeah.
or you're talking about like a cataclysmic natural event, but it would be pretty hard to make the entire volcano erupt. If it were being like kept from erupting, it would be easier to then stop that process and just allow it to do what it's supposed to do. But as far as you can tell, it doesn't seem to be happening. The storm swirling overhead suggests that this is an active volcano. It's not one that is erupting at the moment.
All right. I don't feel terribly comfortable being inside while we rest. I know it's not a good option, but I'm worried that it is active, and if anything happens while we're inside.
How long would it take us to get back to the beach?
To get back to the beach, probably like 2 hours. Not terribly long. You stopped a couple of times on your way here, but it's not a terrible distance.
Did you explain the conversation about them building stuff here for the dragon, or was that
You
all?
heard the
I would have passed on everything. I
Real-time translation is happening for all that.
So
That explains why all the metal's gone.
Yeah.
So I have this thing, the item. Can I use these things, like cast the spells from the beads right now?
It would take
Do I feel
attunement.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Well, I guess, I mean, there's
as long as we can do it quickly and quietly.
no harm. I mean, if we haven't seen any giants around, I guess there's no harm in walking out toward the beach. But if the volcano erupts, we're still going to be on a beach with the volcano erupting toward us.
At least we'll be outside.
Yeah, I'd be okay with just walking out toward the beach.
Would it be worth staying here for an hour, gathering ourselves a little bit, and then just making our way out? Maybe taking a long rest once we're outside the volcano?
Why would they set the volcano off after we kill?
Scorched earth. Their home is destroyed. We kind of forced them out of here. Yeah. True. I worry that they might be angry and
that they took the
take it
things that
out.
they had been building.
You haven't seen what they've been building?
I thought we saw. Was it just like regular ass infrastructure that we saw?
Yeah.
Okay. I thought we had seen like a.
You've seen signs that they'd built like braces and they'd mined
But not
up
what
the ceiling,
what
but
they had been tasked with building.
correct.
Okay.
Yeah, we never went to the forge.
Right.
We
Res-
never really went anywhere. Stepped straight to the top.
we forgot to do all our
Some
side
of us did,
quests.
yeah.
Yeah. Well, okay, so
Forgot to check out
We
the
forgot to do
treasury.
the main quests. We clipped through a wall.
should we walk for a couple hours or should we just rest?
Let's go.
Okay. Billy says, let's go. Alina's like, cool, let's go. And so they're gonna follow her.
What is the marching order?
I think we should stay and rest.
Billy's like walking away.
Should we at least
Grab her hand.
do like maybe an hour and then breathe a little bit, non-toxic air, and then if we feel any rumbles, we go.
So giants are blocking off entrances. They'll make it easier for any lava flows to take a single direction.
And if they're blocking off entrances, we might lose our chance. Okay, let's go.
Let's go.
But if we run into something,
And we die either way, and we're fucked either way.
Sneaking out.
Yeah, let's sneak out.
Okay.
More just by virtue of the fact that I'm going pretty slowly because
We're all very.
Sloth stealth.
yeah, like
I don't think
leaning
my
on
shoes
staff
survived that lava flow.
like an old man with a walking
So,
stick.
what is the marching order?
Billy's going first.
I'll
I'm
go
walking with her.
behind. Yeah, I'll go behind them.
Somewhere in
'cause
the
I'm
middle.
trying to-
Billy, make a survival check.
Can I help?
Sure. Make it at advantage.
Hell yeah.
Guidance. Take that D4.
What's the guidance?
D4. Extra D4.
D4. Cool. Pull up. Survival.
12.
4.
18.
Yes.
Focus on the die.
Bill, you lead the group with Minka clinging over one shoulder and Alina over the other, and it's almost like a cluster. You're moving, and then like Alina points in one direction and Minka points in the other, and you kind of like stay the middle course for the most part. As you guys know where you're going, you realize with an 18 as you are walking. As you were walking,
I just lost I'm sorry.
What is happening?
We got a wheel to whoever kisses somebody first, and a woe to the person who gets kissed.
oh, that's from Olive, probably. Hi, Olive. So as you are walking and you kind of make your way, you do notice with that check, there are a few differences to the first time that you approached. When you pass and begin to meet the area where you had fought some giants that had coated themselves in pitch and tar, some of the barrels of tar are gone. And I would say with that check, you do see a few footprints left over in the pitch that seem to go in the direction of Cheshire's Vanishing Act, the same place that you saw those torches disappear to. And that's really most of what you find. You make your way through, and then eventually you can reach the lava tubes where you entered from.
Huzzah!
Still open?
Still open. There doesn't seem to be any special like shift in the stone. Doesn't seem to be any more heat, any more like fumes. If anything, now that you've been at the center of this volcano, much cooler here. A chill 90 degrees. But you can make your way further and further out, and before too long, after about an hour, and for those of you who have like active spells, certainly after they've ended, you reach the beach.
Long rest, long rest, long rest.
Anything on the beach when we get out there? Any signs of?
You see slightly washed out into the water as the tide is going out, like the fire giant's corpse has moved like 40 feet out, but it's still like dragging along the bottom, so it's going to be a process. But aside from that, no.
No signs like along the beach further down of, because we came out of the tubes that we had been hiding in, right?
Correct.
And then that was from further down along the beach where we had initially come. The main entrance is also off in that direction, right?
The main entrance is like straight through the mercantile district. If you guys want to go that direction, you certainly can.
No, I'm just trying to like orient where we are versus the direction that they seemingly have left from.
They seem to have left off the east. You guys are coming out of the south.
Okay.
And there were two fire giants guarding a door
Northeast.
that we passed on our way here originally. And assumedly one is currently getting dragged out to sea to feed whatever lives in this ocean. Is there any signs of the other one?
Looking around, you can see the second one that you killed.
No, like there were two guarding the door that was
I see what you're
coated in
saying.
lava.
You're a little too far away to see where that
Yeah.
the main kind of gate is.
Okay.
But as far as you can tell, no, they're You can't really tell.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, that was kind of what I was wondering about. Those other ones that we didn't fight
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
that we saw.
All right, so
Once everyone seems comfortable, Alina's gonna start making camp.
Okay.
do we just hang out here?
Yep.
Hang out is not the verb that I would
In the
use,
same
but
cave that we had started in.
I think we're like outside on. Well,
In the mouth of that cave.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it could be. Yeah.
Makes sense.
Sheltered.
Well, how far to get to the ship in the waves? The ship system.
So you have to walk back around the island to like kind of closer to where that main gate is, and then you would go to the part of the water that you can walk out on. That's a couple 100 feet away. Then you go up the water 100
So
feet.
like
and
another
then the
3
ship-
hours or so.
No, like maybe like an hour.
but we don't know
45
what's
minutes
hanging
even.
out there.
Do you guys want to do a short rest and then try to make it at least look to
Can we
the boat?
just rest? Alina, if Alina could wear
nicely.
shoes, she'd already have them off, you know? She's picking pebbles out of her hooves.
Yeah.
Who's up first?
Oh, well.
I would like to attune to the item first.
Okay, no worries. You do that as you sleep. You can attune to the item.
Can I summon Rez?
But if you want to
and
use an
be on
hour to
watch?
do it before, you absolutely can.
Can I
We'll get
summon
back to
Rez
that
and be
in a
on watch at the same time? And second follow-up question: will I be as effective as a watcher if I'm summoning Rez?
No. And so yes, you can, but you will not be as effective as a watcher. You're doing stuff.
Yeah. So I'm like, I'm gonna summon Rez, but like, I'm gonna be pretty focused on that. So maybe someone else could.
I'll keep watch.
Or just keep them on.
Hey, Cheshire.
I would like to attune to it first.
Do you smell the cloves
Because-
again out here?
No, it's getting better.
Better. Okay. Okay.
I think it's gonna also.
Oh, because I want to use it immediately.
Okay, no
And then
worries.
rest.
So you start doing that. Alina starts summoning Rez. The Ori is on watch. Make a perception check. Cheshire, Billy, and Mink, are you guys doing anything?
Billy face planted into the ground.
Begins the short rest.
I'm assuming that
Long rest,
attuning
what
to
do you
it,
say?
Long rest, right.
item specifically means talking to Javaris for an hour.
I mean, it's really just so as you pick it back up, you could hear it just saying, "But the rocks are all gray there. It's quite boring. I really prefer if you do. Have you ever been across the Emerald Expanse, Valis?"
No, but I heard it's nice. Could you
Shut up.
about the ordering again? And I'm gonna listen to him talk about the ordering.
Well,
Oh, it's like you're putting
I
a-
just went over it
Podcast, yeah.
in the beginning. He starts and he just goes right back into the same story. And so you attune to this item over that hour.
Yeah, Minka's gonna help Ori with the watch for the hour while other people are occupied.
Okay.
And then once other people are no longer occupied taking over the watch, she will also pass out on the floor.
So make that check at advantage.
I already got an natural 20.
Nice.
Pass.
Nice.
You are watching, man.
So an hour goes by without issue. You attune to your necklace. The rest of you are beginning to sleep. Cheshire, you're just camping out?
Sleeping.
Okay. Ori, after about an hour goes by, as Valis seems a little bit happier now that he's attuned to his item. You catch the barest hint of something off into the north. You can barely see north the way that the beach wraps around, but with a natural 20, you see two very large shapes in the water. They seem to be in the dark here at this distance. Hard to tell what they are, but almost certainly giant ships.
Okay, so they're heading north,
Seems to be.
sailing away north.
Correct.
Would north be in the rough direction back towards their home eventually?
Well, they're in the Feywild now, so
Right.
hard to tell
Yeah,
where
I
they're
guess
going.
that-
You
yeah,
don't
'cause
really
they're
know.
going in a direction that might be consistent if it were the same plane.
Correct. They're heading in the direction where their home would be if they were in the same plane.
Okay.
But that's like a pretty vague direction. at
Right,
best.
because it's like,
Yeah.
all right, well, at least I know that they're gone now. How far off was it?
A good distance off.
So I
Without a
can't,
natural
like,
20, you
just-
wouldn't have seen it.
So I can't just like run over and get a better
No, this is like you see just barely, and it's out of
like
sight. It's
on
over the
skyline,
horizon. Yeah.
Okay.
Valos, you attune to this item.
Yes.
What do you want to do with it?
Vincent forgets what the name of this mountain was. It was like
Kuatar Archaya.
Kuatar Archaya.
Yeah.
Sure.
I like to cast legend lore. Kuatar Archaya.
Okay. So holding on to this, you can take this ivory bead and you concentrate asking Javaris about Kuatar Archaya. Using the spell, he begins to talk and like his voice fades into the background. He he begins to talk about, Kuatar Altraya, the jewel of the Coal Alliance. But his like voice fades into the background, and you learn from this spell. Kuatar Artraya at one point was the kingdom of Kuatar Artraya. It is symbolized by a castle of coal on a field of fire. This is a fire Genasi nation that at one point was kind of the leader of the Coal Alliance, which included the Vermilion House of Glass Scales, the roving armada of the Stormlord's Fury, and the Kingdom of Late Summer, which is located to the north across the ocean. You learn that in terms of like, is there something in particular you're looking to learn? This has a lot of history, but I'm not sure how much of it is pertinent to what you're looking for.
How long do we have? Legend lore on a mountain, an ancient mountain home.
More immediately, and whether and about its about it being a volcano and it being at risk of erupting.
Sure. It is not at risk of erupting, and you would discover that this is primarily due to the fact that it is an elemental fissure, which is something that exists across planes and is damage left over from an event that is, you maybe heard Javaris even mention the word elemental deluge in his kind of like monologue that he was giving you.
During the ordning?
No, this is well before the ordning. This would be like his in the beginning speech.
Right.
Would include this.
In the beginning.
The elemental deluge is a time where there was such massive damage done to Alberon that it pierced into the plains, and there's a few places where they can still to this day connect. And this is sort of one of those, not really transversible by most because it's in magma, but yeah, it's not at risk of erupting. It will flow forever unless somebody blocks that space.
Okay.
Dope.
When that's done, I'm gonna start taking my long rest.
That's space. Speaking of space, and then he starts talking about like the difference
So
between
relaxing.
personal space, and you just go
Earth to go to bed.
We trance.
Trance. Just listen right into a trance.
Ori.
Yeah, it's like when you put on music in the background or a TV show in the background to rest.
With a natural 20, the only other thing that you see right towards the very end of your first watch is way off in the distance in that glimmering kind of wave. You can't even see the ship. It's like a speck against the like towering tidal wave. But you might see movement off in that direction. But that's all that you see.
And that's the direction that we are eventually heading when everyone wakes up.
Probably. That, who is taking second watch?
How many hours in is second watch?
How long are you keeping watch for? 4 or 8 hours?
I can keep watch for 4 hours before I need to start my trance.
I'll do like a couple hours of watch. Is Rez back?
Yeah, Rez comes back after the first hour, no problem. Rez just, oh yeah, do we win?
Oh yeah, and I think Alina's gonna spend her watch telling tale to Rez.
Okay, no problem.
Minka will take second watch as well.
Okay, so Minka, make a perception check.
Wait, do I get to make a perception check too?
I'm gonna say make a perception check at advantage. That is to symbolize like every now and then Elena goes, oh wait, I'm on watch. But then Minka was dying, and I'm just like right back to talking to Rez.
25.
With the 25, you look around, you watch, and you can hear the sound of like Alina excitedly talking to Rez. You can hear a little bit of soft snoring. You don't see or hear anything aside from that, and your watch passes without issue. Most of you are right on the edge of a long rest, but there is probably about 2 more hours that need to be accounted for.
Let's do it.
Okay.
I mean, anybody else want to take watch?
Has it been
Billy hasn't been on watch.
Actually, Valis, you could take yours. You started yours a little bit late, but you could, if you want to take your watch, you can.
Yeah, I'll take my watch.
Alina's gonna wake up Billy to do her part.
So Billy and Valis, each of you make a perception check. Minka, you going to bed?
Shoot.
Oh,
19.
14.
14. Valis, for a moment, you can almost swear that you might see movement off to the north in the direction of that wave, but then nothing. Maybe just a fish jumping in the water. But your watch passes without issue, and all of you can mark off a long rest. And level up. You are all level 9, correct?
8. I mean, I'll take that.
Yes, level 9.
I have to keep the 2 campaigns straight, and it's a little difficult sometimes. So, you all wake up. It is now the 24th of Summertide, a Tuesday. It is, yes.
who don't share.
Valis, as you wake up early in the morning, you do hear, or you feel the sending stone beginning to kind of like glow and ping in your pocket.
Beep, boop, beep, boop, beep.
Valis, I don't know why you make that sound every time. But, are you at the island yet?
No, we just made camp at the beach, and we're just breaking camp now.
Well, do you think you'll be there soon? There's a party that I would like to go to, and if you're not ready, I could use the spell for that.
Let me check with the group. Are we ready to go meet with Pearson soon?
I guess.
Yeah, sure.
There was something happening last night over by the ship.
What? Archery?
I don't know.
Didn't the note from Arthurian mention ship? Maybe that's their...
They're probably
Contact
still
that.
there, but
Should we try to find Arthurian first? Because he said he'd wait for us for a day.
well, we have to go over there anyway, right?
Yeah.
If we see him, great. If he left already, then
Where did he say he was going to wait for us again?
The ship that was hanging out in the waves.
Oh,
Billy, like, and you just, the whole camera shifts over, and you see just the ship floating in the air.
how long do I think it'll take for us to get back to the island? And back to that ship?
Back to that ship will only take you guys probably about 40 minutes like it did last time, but to get to the island, you don't really know. You guys caught sight of it through the mist. Probably, I mean, not terribly long.
So I'll tell here some. Yes, we're going to start heading back now. We should be at the ship in 3 planes in about 40 minutes, and then we'll try to get to the island you described.
Very well. I'll wait for you.
Thank you, Hearsome.
It just goes quiet, but no problem. Are any of you guys doing anything before you head off in that direction?
One last look now that it's daytime
Sure.
in the direction that I saw the giant ships heading.
Make a perception check.
Like, assuming that there's no, 15, there's no sign of them or anything.
The 15 certainly not.
Just kind of like make sure that they've gone. And head towards the floating ship to see if Athorian's still there.
Okay.
As we're walking, Alina's gonna sidle up next to Cheshire and be like, hey, I don't know if like anyone has really told you this yet, but you did a really amazing job in there. And listen, I know you like magic items, and so I wanted to give you something. And I'm gonna give her my ring of pyrotechnics, which is a wand of pyrotechnics, but like respect as a ring. I'm just gonna be like, I don't really use it anymore, and I think you can make better use of it than I can.
What do you want?
Nothing. Seriously. I just feel like I haven't really shown my appreciation.
Cheshire. But Cheshire, as you pull that away and you put this in your pocket, you can add a ring of pyrotechnics to your inventory.
It's a wand of pyrotechnics, but it's a ring instead.
Yeah.
It's part of the title.
There is this faint thread that now ties you to Alina. And it's bright and it's pink.
Try to brush it away a little bit.
Okay. So Cheshire just turns and kind of brushes you away. But
I feel like that went pretty well.
And then Alina's gonna resume her usual like spot, probably close to Billy.
so you make your way back towards the ship. It's once you reach the edge of the beach, you can see it's just as close as you left it. You can walk out onto the waves, and then the wave rises up and the ship kind of floats up there. It's easy enough to walk out there. You've all done it before. How are you reaching the ship itself? That is suspended about 100 feet up.
Is Alberon here?
As you approach,
We're not
you walk
at the ship.
if you walk across the water, you have not seen him yet, and he does not make himself known to you.
Did we leave the rope or did we take that back with us?
You took it back with.
rope.
Oh, you left it with. I had it.
100%.
I had it as you guys took it, but if you left it, no worries. Yeah.
No, I remember specifically leaving it because I know we'd have to go back this
If
way.
you left it,
Yeah,
it is still
I remember
there.
you
It was not
remembering
removed.
to leave it because I don't have a way up otherwise.
Yeah, right.
So Billy begins to climb.
I'll climb as well.
As usual.
Start climbing.
Who cares? Go first.
Yeah.
Before I climb, I'm just gonna look around and say, Alberon?
You hear the waves lapping up against the ship and nothing else.
At the ship, buddy. At the ship.
What is this? Before Big and Cheshire grow up, Minga's gonna give Cheshire the Easter Island head rock that she found.
Okay.
Like, thank you.
Minka back the potato rock.
Yet again, Cheshire, you can see this little string now binds you to Minka as well. But one by one, you make your way up to the ship. This ship that you had been on before, as you pull up onto it, you can see off the. Give me a second here. Off the port side, there is the material plane, and you can see now the mist has sort of parted, and the steel gray waters of the Remember Me drift show themselves. You can see little clumps of seaweed that float and bob. The waves are gentle, and you can see a little bit clearer the small island that seems to be a few hundred feet away. The fog has drifted beyond that now, and so that obscures much more the entirety of the west coast of the Magiocracy of the Rising Storm, but you can see the island. There are white wisps of fog that hang like ribbons, and it's not quite like fog on the water here. It's almost like the clouds have descended and the water itself kind of floats between them. Yeah, Billy.
Is that door still closed?
Billy. Give me 1 second here.
That door
like
better
how
be
he
shut as
Started
fuck.
that sentence with the name Billy.
Tell us how it happened.
Shut the fucking door. That's how it happens.
So, Billy, as you look out, you can see. Oh man, I printed double-sided. Now my notes are all over the place. Give me just 1 second here.
In the meantime,
Yeah.
walk over to Valis and hold out his shield back to him. It's not my book, but Alina made it. Sort of gave me something. You have it back.
Oh. Thank you. Friendship is truly transactional.
And you can see again, this little string draws you together. All right, I'm just gonna pull up my computer. Pardon me. So you can see, Billy, as you turn, there is this raw and cold breeze, a little bit less than it was before. The wood around the door is stained this light gray with ash. You can still hear the whispers, and these are stronger than the last time. Whatever sound it isn't subtle anymore, and you can hear the ambient whispers of the dark place beyond almost beckoning you. These are very familiar to the place that you had been previously, known as the Shadowfell. And that door is open again.
Any signs of Athorian or the folks that presumably Athorian was with?
Make a perception check.
Billy stomps over to the door and goes to shut it.
Eye for detail.
Go for it. Okay.
Alina helps.
Always.
Here. Take it at a time.
Shut that goddamn door.
So, Ori, you look around and you can see, just like before, the name of the ship is scrawled across the side. And with the 23, you do notice a little bit more of these breadcrumbs now visible, but no sign of authority. You do note, especially because of your background in firing ranged weapons, there is a place. There's a place along the side of the ship that is directionally kind of towards the island, where it looks like somebody had braced a crossbow at one point. But they are gone now. And you see no signs of Athorian Sember beyond the breath.
So someone had braced it kind of on the edge of the ship, pointing towards the island that we're
Do you want these?
gonna have to swim out to.
Hand you the bag of books.
So there's something at the island.
Thank you.
So, Billy, you stomp over.
A lovely little scene just happened over here.
Oh, sorry.
Alice gave Jetra a piece of candy, and in exchange she gave him all the books.
Books, how did you know?
Just a hunch.
Billy, you walk over. Give me 1 second here now.
I need you to hold on. It's kind of sucked you in last time.
So, Billy, as you get closer, you stomp over and you can hear your feet hitting the wood. And as you walk, it sounds like a ship deck, but as you get closer, the wood is more wet and it becomes kind of squelching. And though you look down and it just looks like normal wood, it feels different under your feet. It feels like you're walking on stiff sponges. But you get closer and you can hear these whispers, and through all of them, it's almost like you saw those clumps of seaweed that were bobbing in the waves. Each one of these whispers like a strand of this, almost like hair, like wet hair that clings to your ears. But there's one voice that is a little bit louder. And it's relatively pleasant.
Oh, hello.
Yeah, it's a club. It says, "You're new. I haven't felt you before. I could help you, I think. You know the sisters. Come down. Let's talk. I can help you." No?
You see Billy stop for a little bit.
Are we closing this? Billy? Billy?
Yeah.
Are we closing it?
Do we all notice this happening?
I mean, you saw Billy stomp over the door. Now Billy is just kind of standing there in front of this
Best not to stray.
space.
After a minute, if Billy doesn't go to shut it, I'm gonna walk over and shut it.
You see, like, Billy's hand is on the door, and it's kind of like gripping it really tight. And then she puts her other hand out back towards Alina.
Like as a, like, hold my hand, or like a don't?
It just looks like this.
Oh, Alina grabs her hand.
Okay.
And she shuts the door.
Okay. As you touch the door and you go to shut it, and Ori's like stomping over looking to shut it.
I wasn't stomping.
Okay.
I was just keeping an eye so that if Billy couldn't do it.
Really just patronizing you by saying, Billy can't close the door. You go and you push the door shut, and you can hear this whisper that just says, "What a shame," and then it shuts. You feel like that sensation that you could feel in your ears is not gone, but you don't hear any voice anymore.
Hey, are you okay?
No. We should go.
Okay.
I can get us ready to walk.
Okay, let's do it.
Hold on. I just want to write a note.
Okay.
That
To
was
Athorian.
fun. And it says
Athorian's here,
WUZ.
Oh, you think he's already left?
He's already left. There's
Okay.
crumbs again, and it looks like they were keeping eyes on the island there, and probably
Okay.
left
Okay.
when the light came.
Thank you.
Okay.
Alina's
Ready?
just Yeah.
It's gonna start ritually casting walk on water.
Okay.
Water
no
walking.
How long does it? Oh, it's 7 minutes. Yeah. While she's doing that, Alina's gonna like pull Billy off to the side and be like, "Do you want to talk about it?"
I don't know.
Do you want a hug? Just checking.
Billy's face gets all like sour and scrunchy, and her eyes are watery, and it's like she's not gonna say yes.
Alina's just gonna pull her into a hug.
Okay.
She knows that look.
I think anybody who's worked with children knows that. I felt it in my soul. So, no problem. You spend 10 minutes ritually casting Walk with Water, and you can cast it on everybody, I believe.
10 creatures.
Soothe, ritual
And
cast.
are you all kind of making your way down this wave and into the Remember Me Drift?
Yes.
Okay.
Still keep an eye, because it's weird that the door was open. The remnants of camp that I saw didn't make it seem like anyone had gone through there, right? Like,
Correct.
it seemed like they were still going in the direction of the island based on the fact that they had set up a watch in that direction and stuff.
Perhaps. You remember Athorian casting a spell that made it hard for him to be tracked?
That's what
It seems like they're probably using a similar ability.
So I'm basically trying to gauge how comfortable am I in the knowledge that Athorian got away safely?
Make an insight check.
Based on my
Make an insight check. For the rest of you, if you want, you can make your way down, kind of stumbling down the wave. It feels almost like steps made from a bouncy castle. 28. With a 28, from what you can tell, Athorian 8. And that probably means that they rested, which means that they were not in immediate danger and they left. There's no blood, there's no signs of struggle. So yeah, they're probably gone. At the very least, it seems like they didn't wait. Them setting up, they weren't just watching the island. It seems like they probably shot something at the island. And with that, if they shot something at the island, maybe it was for you to find, and maybe they just didn't hit that shot, or maybe you just didn't find it.
Can I look around as we're walking towards
this is like you're imagining like message in a bottle kind of deal.
Oh, okay. So it's
With
not
the 28, you're imagining that there may have been communication lost to the waves, but they seem to be gone at the moment.
All right. I think they tried to leave a message for us, but
You all can make your way down the waves. It is a peculiar sensation, kind of bouncing down, but before too long, you are walking across the steel gray waters of this place. Just here. It's much cooler here than the temperature that you are all used to, about 75 degrees, almost cold compared to the volcano. And looking around, as you are all walking, none of you have bathed since you have left. And so as the ambient kind of clouds go by you, each of you is becoming slowly caked in this kind of ashy mud. And slowly, as you are walking, that begins to drift down, and you are all leaving like a gray, almost black streak along the already dark water. But slowly, it's like you are being steam cleaned by the air around you.
Vegetate myself clean.
It falls away slowly, except for Cheshire, who just suddenly is sparkly and pink yet again.
She always is. Like, it's constant. There's no...
But for the rest of you, you are all just kind of, you've formed a thin skin of soot across you, most of it melting into the waves. Valis, for you, as you are walking, you are very thankful that you are not swimming, as your armor would make this quite difficult. You walk through the little wisps. You can see there is pretty good visibility. And with walk on water, as you are walking across this seaweed, it feels like it might be kind of unpleasant to walk through. And Billy, you especially, having just heard the sound, I mean, you are very thankful that you're not walking through that. But it doesn't seem harmful. It doesn't seem like the kind that would suck oxygen out of the water or anything like that. It just seems kind of gross. As you get to the shallows and the seaweed clears away a little bit, you do see that there's a stony shore, and there are bits of pinkish coral that are anchored to the rocks with pale holdfasts. You see little flashes of silver. There are minnows here that are kind of scattered amongst the rocks. I would say, Minka, you also notice as you all step across the waves here, there is elements of a species of coral known as razor coral. And if you were all wading ashore, you would probably be making your way through it, as it's relatively hard to spot. But all of you can just walk across without any issue. And before too long, you reach what is known as Pigeon Plum Island. Sorry, not Pear, Pigeon Plum Island. This is a pebbly beach. This is an island no larger than 200 feet across, quite small, and you can actually see the sand and pebbles that form it, almost entirely devoid of any kind of plant life. There is at the very top of this island, which is at its highest point, no greater than a hill, like the faintest tuft of grass. And that would tell many of you that this exists largely underwater at various times. But at the very top, on top of this tuft of grass, there is a huge, almost comically wide tree, and the roots kind of twist around and go down through the rocks and seem to vanish beneath where the waterline itself is. And this has some very small little plum-like fruits on it. And you would imagine this is that tree that Hearsome would use to gate you through.
Is Hearsome here?
He's not.
While Val's doing it, Minka's gonna quickly take like salt water and just kind of like get off any remaining ash.
Fire resistant thing.
No problem. And for many of you, your fire resistant thing is just destroyed. So, you know, not terribly useful.
Still useful.
Yeah, 100%.
I would say the only people who have ones that are still intact would be Ori. And even that's like, you couldn't. No.
Alina was wearing Billy's. I'm sure she gave it back at some point, but
I'd have to go back and look. But yeah, possibly Billy as well. Yeah. But yours, especially, not in great shape. It's taken quite a bit of wear to it. It's not a magical item, so when you get hit, it gets hit.
Yeah, but I didn't get hit by fire. I got hit by fists and shields.
The rune glows brightly, and you hear on the other side, Valus, are you ready?
We are ready. We are at the sugar plum tree.
Excellent. If all of you could gather, it's only just a moment, and I can't do this again today, regrettably. So,
gather up, everyone. I believe Hearsome's about to open a portal in the tree.
Gathered.
We are gathered. Here today.
You can see the seam in this tree glows like along a ridge in the bark, and it just shifts and stretches open, and vines twist around it, and you can see this glowing green portal. And if you want, you guys can just go one at a time, run right through this thing. It does like begin to shrink almost immediately, so you need to go.
I go.
Let's go.
I'm fine. I'm just
Anybody staying behind?
No.
All of us. We all say, fuck this.
You emerge from a wall of matted vines behind the main building at the top of a towering hill that leads down to a valley of green grasses that is shrouded in a veil of monstrous maple, birch, oak, linden, and other deciduous trees. You've been here before. This is the arboreal vineyard, and you can see below you the Gen forest kind of stretching out below. Above you, this aurora borealis of rainbow lights that drifts and sprinkles down like a fine glimmering mist. You can see Hearsome in front of you. And just beyond him, there is a much less ornate kind of facade on the back of this building than the front. But Hearsome says, I'll let you all through the back doors here. Please, before we meet anybody, would you mind cleaning yourselves up? Cheshire, you look lovely.
Thank you.
But the rest of you smell quite bad.
We were in a bad place.
Yes, come along. And he kind of hurries up and begins to move towards the back door.
Minor illusion's a clean version.
The Arboreal Vineyard is the place that you had been to before. There's Ulvardar races.
With the raccoon racing, right?
The raccoon
Oh, the
racing,
raccoons.
yes. Yes.
And the tree.
No, the bees
No,
were
the bees was a different
the Brambleberry Briary.
Right, okay.
Bees?
So this is where we met the like the tree man.
Yeah.
Tree man and
The olive tree treant. Yes.
Thank you.
Ulvardar.
I am recognizing where we are. Would there be another party tonight?
I don't believe so, but I have invited a number of guests who may be of interest to you in the interest of perhaps speeding up the interim between our events. But you've all done quite well. I apologize. Please clean up and meet me in the location when you're ready. Do you all intend to just rest for the day, or will you be prepared to talk? there is this party.
We can talk.
We can talk.
Wait, what party?
Very well.
It's
Not for you.
I might need new shoes. I think mine got burnt up in lava.
Very well. Is there anything else that any of you require?
Maybe another.
We can stop at the Emerald Spire if you do wish after we meet with the individuals I've brought. I do need to bring Warhoon there as well.
Could go for a little shopping spree.
We just have 100 gold for like a spending allowance. Need to resupply.
If you wish. He kind of pulls out like an acorn from his pocket and he pops the cap off and he just takes it and shakes out like coin after coin.
Actually, better make that 200.
You can add 100 gold coins to your inventory. As he kind of, the last one out there, he says, I think that's fine. Especially as we have not gone anywhere yet.
Did you say that Warren is here?
Yes.
Oh, cool. We've got stuff that he might be interested in.
I imagine so.
Yeah.
Is that the dude?
He's the guy who can
that
make
the
stuff out of stuff. That's the dude.
Warren the Shaper is a dragonborn artificer who has created a machine that can shape materials into more useful things.
Billy like gestures for the bag.
Yeah. Just opens it up. There's so much good.
I will await all of you in the location.
Emphasize enough that he is not here currently.
Here some goes. Leaving you all in the back door, you arrive in an area that you've been to before. You can see there are 4 doors in this hallway. One is labeled the Loquacia, and through this one is the one that you see Yearsome vanish into in this beautiful dining room. There is one that is labeled the tasting room. There's one that is labeled the guest chambers, and this is where you've stayed previously and where he has indicated for you all to please clean up. There is also a sauna, although this is closed at the moment.
Was there like a place in the guest chambers to clean up? Like it's an ensuite?
Yeah.
Okay.
There are 2 bathrooms in the chambers.
I think he's gonna go clean herself off and then try to repair as much of her clothing as she can after having it being submerged in lava.
Yeah, I mean, you can definitely taking a little bit of time. It won't look the same, but it will be functional.
Par for the course.
Yeah. It will not get you in trouble in public. For the rest of you, are you just kind of cleaning up and getting ready for this, or is there anything that people want to do before meeting with Yearsome?
I'm good.
Try to clean up, be presentable. Alina puts a little less effort into being extra presentable than she might have like at the start of this adventure.
How much time did Hearsome say we have before people arrive?
He didn't mention any amount of time. He just said, do you guys want to wait a day, or are you able to do this now? And you said now, so he just went to the wait.
So it's just like we're just freshening up before we go into the boardroom.
Correct.
Yeah.
Okay, so all of you take a little bit of time to freshen up in various capacities, and before you make your way into the loquation, as you push the door open, we'll step away for a quick break. Thank you for joining us for this session of D&D. We will be back in just 10 minutes. We'll see you then. Howdy, folks. Welcome back to Adventures in Alberon, Courts of Everest, where we are joined by everybody and Matthew.
I'm here.
Oh, I forgot to get.
There's a long line for the bathroom.
That's fair. Okay. So jumping right back into D&D, all of you are pushing your way through the doors here, which depict two satyrs sharing drinks and laughing. And as you open them up, you can see the chamber beyond is an expansive circular chamber with white quartz circular table right in the center. On the exterior edge, you can see tall marble pillars that rise 80 feet up, and each of these 12 pillars is shaped like a different dryad. The arms rise up and form a canopy of stone over the table itself. On the table, there is a huge roast that sits dead center in the middle. There is the aroma of cooked beef and rosemary and garlic and black pepper that almost pulls you in. There's a basket of crumbly golden biscuits, a silver bowl that is filled with Brussels sprouts blackened in the fire and sprinkled with thick cut lardons of bacon. You see a trio of chickens, each stuffed with some variation of ground sausage. It's a whole feast that has been spread out here. There is a trio of wines that are on this table as well. And then you can see sitting at the table at the moment are Hearsome, the red-headed kind of archfey that you have all interacted with, wearing his normal traveling attire, and then Brasare Coalmonger, a fire genasi with warm brown skin, and now not wearing the simple kind of traveler's clothes, but a brick red tunic with gold trim around the sleeves and an embroidered black castle over a red shield. And as you enter, Brasare says, "I'll admit I had my doubts about all of you, which were only reinforced actually after meeting you for the first time, but you've done it. I hadn't just given up hope, I'd allowed all embers of the idea of having a home to die. In just 5 days, you all changed reality for me and for the rest of my people who are scattered beyond. I swear to you that when all of you are ready to wander no more, you'll have a home with us. And if you need help, please call on us and we'll do what we can to help you." But he kind of looks at all of you and then says, "Is there anything that you need?"
Funds.
And equipment. We're very glad to have been able to help. And we're just gearing up for the next stage of our journey. So any support that you can offer would be greatly appreciated.
Make a persuasion check. Make it at advantage.
Heck yeah! How are you? Oh, advantage is nice. 13 plus 8 is 21. Thank you.
21. Many of our people are scattered beyond the summer seas, but once we've gathered the people that we need and we have our forges back up, we will craft something for you. Give us a month and return to us, and we will make good on this promise.
Alina nods her head courteously.
He kind of stands up and looks around. Is there anything else?
We're just glad that we were able to help.
He nods and he says, "This is a great day, and maybe we can restore the entirety of the Coal Alliance one day."
Good luck.
Thank you. When he turns...
Before he turns, I would say, we look forward to visiting you at your home, Prince Brasare, with an emphasis on Prince.
He nods. And for the first time, unlike last time, he accepts that. But he opens the door, and you can see as he does so, standing on the other side of it, there is a dragonborn.
I told him we make him a prince again.
And as he walks out into the hall, the dragonborn steps in. And Hearsome says, "Now, owing to your affiliation with the hunt, I'm sure that you've collected grisly trophies or two across your adventures thus far. So to save you some time, I've brought an expert to consult with you on some of these items. Should you want to use them, may I introduce you to Warhoon the Shaper?" And he gestures to this brass dragonborn. You can see he's wearing armor of Damascus plate mail. The chest piece looks like a dragon's face that is kind of formed from different plates of polished brass. and you can see on their head there is, similar to last time, these kind of crystal lens goggles, although they are now affixed to a polished helmet. And this individual says, while my facilities are being relocated to the Emerald Spire, I've agreed to stop in and take a look at anything you might have come into possession of. I remember you. And he kind of looks over.
I think he was a cow the last time we were here.
Kind of looks.
I have a memory of tying him up outside of your shop, but
He completely stops looking at you at that, and he at first kind of looks up at what you're holding, and then immediately turns over and goes,
what are you holding exactly?
Are you the flying cow?
I guess so.
He was.
Oh yeah, that was a fun day.
Yeah. Anyway,
People tell stories about you.
It's not the first time I've heard that.
What do you have there? And he goes over and looks at you, and you can see two of these little crystal lenses just slide in place over his eyes as he squints.
So we have a number of things inside the bag of holding. As we're pulling things out, Alina is very careful to not pull out the star orb, which is also in there. So I'm not doing like an upending and dumping everything out. Yeah. Okay, just making it known.
Mindful extraction.
Yeah.
You could take the wood out too.
So we have 20 pounds of opalized petrified wood, 3 bolts of Rahir hide, 6 Rahir teeth, a fire giant's toenail. That's it. Those are the things we have.
And Billy very gingerly places the Inakamudi scale.
Okay. So of all those things, you can see almost immediately Warun's eyes are drawn to that scale, but he nods and he says, especially looking at the giant's fingernail, he's going to say, quite frankly, that's disgusting. But the rest of these are quite interesting. What would you like from all of these? The Rahir bits all have properties relating to fire, but in proper application could be used to generate it as well. The Inakamudi scale, you've only got the one.
Sadly.
With only one, I could perhaps make a shield that would be especially potent against magic. With only one, there's very little I can do, though.
Billy's been holding on to the scale with the hopes that something cool for her would happen, and she's like, and she kind of like looks up at Valis and Minka. Yeah, that would be good.
He holds the scale for a moment. He kind of like turns it end over end, and he definitely seems to appreciate this item. But he looks around and he says, for Hearsome, I've agreed to create one item for all of you, and I can make more should you want to pay for them. Is there anything else that you would like?
Well, you said, so what could you make out of the Rahir bets?
Well, with this hide, you have enough that I could perhaps make 2 sets of armor that would carry some resistant properties to fire. It would be a bit more complex, but I might be able to add additional properties to a single cloak of this material. It would be heavier than a normal cloak, but it would be worth it, in my mind.
What sort of properties?
Well, with Rahirs, who are resistant to fire and have the ability over time to convert stone into elements of mineral and... did you pull out the teeth?
Mm-hmm.
Kind of like pulling and picking up one of the teeth into more valuable items. It's an interesting property and one that's not well understood, but we may be able to help you increase your funds as you perform some of these missions that Hearsome has for you.
Increase funds, you say?
I've only seen it done once before, and it is something designed for a cleric in particular, but this might be similar.
You don't have one of those.
Could anyone do this with this cloak?
Presumably. You can all do magic, yes?
Yeah. All of us.
Yeah.
All of us.
All of us can.
Of course.
Yeah. What about with this wood?
The opalized petrified wood.
It is quite beautiful.
Yeah.
Oh,
Could you make it?
I mean, he kind of like looks at it and says, "Of course, I could make any number of fine furniture. It's not magical, if that's what you mean.
Yeah, that is.
It's quite valuable, and so I could pay you for it.
In fact, I'm told it's worth 152 gold pieces.
Could you take it as payment, as you mentioned? You could make more than one item for us.
For 150 gold pieces.
Well, how much?
Would you like some socks? I don't think you understand the quality of items that I produce, and it does take quite a long time to...
Would the teeth and this wood be enough to cover the cost of that cloak you mentioned?
No.
Well, I could try.
For this cloak, that's closer to about 50,000 gold pieces.
Oh, good gods.
Okay. That's a bit more than we have.
Billy starts folding up the bolts.
Fearsome just sitting there, and you can see he's holding this glass of like dark red, almost black wine.
So Alina's gonna look over to Hearsome and say, if we are well equipped, we can run these missions better. What do you say?
Oh, I agree, but I'm not a limitless fountain of gold.
You're not?
No. But I do have quite a bit. Not 50,000 gold pieces.
Billy starts folding up the bolt of hide again.
What if we didn't make the shield? He said he'd make an
to
item.
help one remember the lyrics to a song.
May I make a suggestion? That is not going to last for a long time.
I can't remember it.
I can, at the very least, cure that for you and hold on to it should you want to use it down the line, or you could collect it.
I can potentially afford that. How much is that going to cost?
I'll do that for Hearsome.
Appreciated. On Hearsome's behalf.
There's not many people that could use it as well as I could, so it's more to reassure that you'll visit and give me that business eventually.
That's fair. And Billy, hands it back.
Okay.
Keeps the teeth.
So, a shield from the Inakamudi scale? That's pretty neat.
What if...
Hold on one second. Alina's gonna pull Minka and Valis, who are, as I believe, the only ones who can use shields. She's gonna be like, okay, so if we have a cool shield from him, then we'll have 3 shields. So should we offer to sell him one of the shields?
I mean, this one.
He's gonna pipe up also and just say, if there's something else that you have an idea for, I could consult with some of my colleagues across the ocean and see if there is maybe some existing item I could use as a template.
There might be something
How
I'm
much does the
misunderstanding.
shield cost? Because if the shield is less expensive than the cloak, why don't we get the cloak for free and have him make the shield?
The shield would only be about 33,000 gold pieces.
I don't think we need... I speak for myself, Minka, I don't know about you. I don't think I found this shield from the Fire Giants. I don't think I need another shield.
This shield protects from most forms of magic, though. That one is only resistant to fire.
Yeah. I mean, this one is Valis' shield.
Think about when we battled that serpent.
And the Inakamudi is quite a massive and powerful beast. That you fought it is quite impressive, and it can do more than just resist magic. In a limited capacity, it could potentially turn it aside.
This is a useful thing.
Yeah.
But we can always...
This is the most useful of all the offerings.
I could also make it into a very nice bowl.
Let's not do that.
Let's not do that. Well, what about...
For the kind that is, it would be worth quite a bit.
Yeah, but the
Hold on
shield
one
set,
second.
we fight.
There are some individuals who cast spells that require a bowl such as this, so just something to keep in mind.
Valis, what if we show him the shield that you found in the place that we were? Yeah.
The shield of the...
What do you reckon? What do you reckon?
And he kind of looks at it and says, well, that was enchanted. He's gonna... Do you hand it to him?
Yeah.
Okay. He's gonna hold it and say, I can't tell you too much about the history of it, but it was enchanted. It uses giant magic, which is very different than what most of us would use. Giants don't use the weave, you see. The magic that they use predates it. But it's seems to be resistant to fire.
I was more thinking if you would be open to like trade or like, you know, use it to defray the cost.
I mean, it might be used as a collector's piece or something. It's
Okay.
It uses a magic that I'm not familiar with, and so I'm not very trusting of this sort of thing. And my experience with giants has almost primarily been with hill giants, and they're not good at things in general.
Could you take the wood and make me a set of divining runes?
I don't really know how to do that, but if you gave me some kind of instructions, I'm sure that I could.
Do I know enough about divining?
You could definitely give him like the instructions to create a set of those, yeah?
Yeah, okay. Then yes.
So, options. Cloak.
The cloak?
Shield.
The cloak will build us wealth. Am I understanding that correctly?
Potentially build us wealth.
Mechanically, I think the cloak would give us an opportunity to create precious gems, which a lot of spells need. So the mention of a cleric implies that we might be able to make diamonds out of it, which diamonds are how we cast things like Revivify.
Oh.
So it's over time, though. I don't know how much time. Versus a magical shield that repels magic, that's like a more immediately useful thing.
It's like you could incubate a diamond for like 2 months, or
we don't know like the time scale.
Gotcha.
Like as
it's
Alana,
not like I would like a diamond and
as Alana, I think the shield makes more sense right now, and having him keep the Rahir items for when we either generate enough gold or have other items that we can either trade or do something with, and then maybe eventually get the hide made into something might be more functional for us. But there is the joy of thinking of Minka being able to give Billy all of her cool rocks and have them turn to actually cool rocks, which is very tempting.
I agree with everything Alana just said.
Same. This side of the table agrees. Huzzah!
Out of character. I feel like I got some nice beads, and I feel like someone else should get some.
Well,
stuff,
Minka could have the shield.
You mean like a healer having a sweet shield that could protect her? Yeah, I think that sounds pretty good.
That does sound pretty good.
I've also gotten a bunch of I have like the sickle and stuff too, so like I have other stuff that unfortunately we're kind of limited by what we happened to get.
Yeah.
Because we didn't explore a certain
Whatever. Do you want to win?
Yeah. Any opinions?
Or roll poorly on other harvesting checks.
Okay, but does Matt have any input?
Not really, man. I don't give a shit.
Sounds good.
The shield,
the shield it is!
And if you wouldn't mind tanning the hide to make it less stinky, that would be great.
He says, even more than that, I can make sure that it will be usable in the long run. And Hearsome says, very well. So I can bring Warhoon back to the Emerald Spire. Do you all have business to attend to there, or would you prefer to rest here before moving on? We should discuss what we're going to do next.
There's some supplies we should probably get, but other than that...
Yeah.
Warhoon, would you give us a moment? And Warhoon kind of bows to all of you, gets up holding the Rahir hide, which is pretty heavy, also 20 pounds of petrified opalized wood, like a lot of material now, and just kind of stumbles out the room. But Hearsome says... So, of course, there is Sinterson in the Song of Dark Morning, as I said before, but Alina had asked about something to bolster their limited magical ability, so I've managed to locate the last known area of the Bloodroot Brooch, a powerful artifact bestowed upon the last known champion of a vampire lord. It is rumored to present otherworldly power, and beyond increasing your magic, is rumored to be able to capture others as well. It's a long trip, of course, but I could charter Sade for the trip across the Emerald Expanse.
Let's not.
Just kind of like sinks a little bit.
No,
that's not.
That's not Sade.
Not Sade.
Oh.
You haven't.
Oh, I haven't met her. Okay.
That's okay.
Never mind.
What,
And you do not need to call Gleeza her royal flyness when she's not around, and I would actually prefer that you not.
was there, okay, Bloodroot Brooch. Sounds cool. What other? I remember there were multiple items that you.
Yes, Sintersin and the Song of Darkborn.
Sintersin.
Is Sintersin the sword?
Yes. Sorry, hang on a second. Let me double check before I confirm that for you.
Sintersin is the sword deep underground. The Song of Dark Morning is a bow with an unknown location.
There you go.
Bow and unknown location?
Yeah.
Didn't you mention there was another item guarded by the army to the north?
That would be I believe that would be. Give me 1 second here. I have to go all the way back to the last time I spoke with your son. Okay, that was session 34. Okay, so he had told you that there is the Charred King's Prayer Beads. The Song of Dark Morning is currently in the hands of Ignatus of Brass, who is leading the southern garrison of that Dragonborn host.
Gotcha.
So that seems to be possessed by it's the Song of Dark Morning, is that one?
And that's the bow.
Correct.
Okay. So now we have the sword, the bow, or now this item that you said what it was, but I wasn't sure.
The Bloodroot Brooch, and that is an item that is yeah.
That is warlocky.
Extremely warlocky.
I mean, so Alina's like cow ears at the mention of the Bloodroot Brooch are like, and Alina's like, one moment. And then she huddles up with Billy and she's like, I really want to go get that brooch, but we'd have to sail with Sade. That sounds like a problem. Any ideas?
Why would that be a problem?
I'm whispering over here.
He can absolutely hear you.
I know, that's what she says to him. Look,
Mankizalis looks visibly more and more uncomfortable.
the last time we were on that ship,
Stole something.
my best friend died. I don't want to. No.
He turns over and looks over to Ori, who is like talking to Valis, and goes, "You stole something from Sade."
It was my fault. It was my fault. It was my fault.
Oh, good lord.
Personally, no. It was actually.
You can see a huge smile across his face, and he just goes, "Oh dear." That was a terrible mistake.
It was not.
How I wanted this to go.
So, making all sorts of enemies. That seems to be a plan that's out, so we will not be going to Dungannon after the Bloodroot Brooch. We will instead focus on Sintersin or the Song of Dark Morning, or, now that this does throw a bit of a wrench in my plans, perhaps as you all venture about the Emerald Spire, I could find something else. Is there anything that you are looking for in particular now that you have this opportunity?
The opportunity to return what we stole was my fault.
I don't know where Sade is.
Okay.
But
Could
you
we
said
just-
we could turn it. Okay.
Could we just return?
We tried. She left before we could give it back.
I could get in touch with her. I don't think it's a good idea. I think she'll kill you.
Oh, yeah, okay.
There's no other way you can get us to Dungannon.
I haven't been.
So much magic.
I do.
Yeah.
If you would prefer to travel across the Feywild, I could get you there. It's quite a long trip.
Okay, we should go after one of these other things.
Can I make a recommendation?
Please.
Don't burn bridges if you would like to be able to cross them later.
Is it possible to rebuild this bridge?
I'm sure.
What? Okay, I was hoping you had like a helpful suggestion when you said, can I make a suggestion?
That is a pretty helpful suggestion.
If you had done that in the first place, you would be able to just go where you would like to go.
Okay,
Any news from the Divine Court?
Nothing from the Divine Court directly. There is certainly some issues happening a little bit to the west. But aside from
west?
that, around Blackvein.
Well, wait. Really?
Yes, there's the mining operations have been halted for just a bit. There's some kind of an accident in Darkbriar itself.
What?
Like a mine collapse.
Inka?
Like, are we talking about like a normal mine collapse? A mine collapse that is like along the lines of something very terrible happening in relationship to the fracturing mine collapse?
I don't know.
Is there any chance we could look?
Yes. Is that what we're committing to? Would you all like to travel in that direction?
Yes.
Very well. Do you intend to stop in the Emerald Spire first?
You said you need supplies, right? Is that okay?
Yeah.
Are you sure?
Yeah, it's not like we could. It's fine. I'm just worried.
We'll get there as fast as we can.
I'm sure everything's fine, Minka. Well, very well. Are you prepared to go now?
Yeah, now's as good a time as any, you think? Better, let's make whatever the fuck you go, just fast.
Well, we can travel once more today, and then we'll need to wait at least one more day before we go anywhere else.
Yeah.
So, back to the vines, and he stands back up. He takes like an armful of food and takes another, he takes one of the bottles of wine actually, and he'll start kind of trotting off in that direction.
Wait, so we're going. This is just Hannah clarifying. So we're going back to the Emerald Spire. We'll be there for one day, and then we're going to
Darkbriar. Towards Darkbriar.
Yes, towards Darkbriar.
Okay. So you make your way. Oh, excuse me. You make your way over towards the vines, and as you do, Hearsome says, I was really hoping to make it to the Shellfish Festival, but the needs of the realm, I suppose. And he steps over towards the kind of vine trellis, and you see the similar kind of emerald seam appear before this vine splits and the gateway appears that you all know will lead you, hopefully, to the Emerald Spire. You all stepping through? Mm-hmm. Alrighty. Give me 1 second.
Let's go see Crispy.
And thank him for all the help that his pickaxe gave us.
People were hating on the pickaxe, but it really helped, huh?
It really did.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Fucking Crispy, my guy.
Okay. You step through, and as you do, there is that familiar feeling of moving. You feel your stomach left behind for just a moment, and then as you step out, you are back in the Emerald Spire. Give me just 1 second here. Or not quite in the Emerald Spire, but 1 second. I forgot to download my Emerald Spire. Okay. So you can see in front of you the hillside stretches up and up and up, and then past a few trees there is the gleaming huge structure that is the Emerald Spire, towering up and up, little bits of kind of light glowing from the inside. There is a trail of people that are kind of disappearing off and into the main structure. It's very much like you remember it, maybe a little bit cooler than you last left it. You can see the facet of the welcome facing you, the primary entrance, and beyond that, the glow of the warm and welcome way. With no issue if you want. You've been here many times before. You can make your way pretty much wherever you want. And actually, now that you've been to the Emerald Spire a few times, Hearsome will walk you to the gate, past the bridge, through the kind of entryway with the two statues, and sort of turn and say, I will wait for all of you at the Wincing Manticore unless there's anything else that you need, but you've all been here before. You know your way around by now. Is there anything else that you need to locate or haven't found yet?
Lyrics to the song in my head, but that's probably a separate issue.
I would like a full plate armor set fashioned one day, and if you can just let me know what I need to get you to help get that. But that is something I would like to have one day.
Okay, I'll see what I can do.
On top of that is the out of character, the Treaty of the Four Seasons. I think you said it wasn't accessible to the public because it's at the gate, right? So I would need Kirsten to like escort me.
Essentially, yeah.
Okay. Could you take me to see the Treaty of Four Seasons, the replica that is posted near the, I believe, the portals?
Yes, if you wish. That would, I imagine, take much of your downtime, but if you would like. Very well. Is anybody coming with Valis and I?
No. Alina's gonna be like, okay, so if I can't obtain this bloodroot brooch, got any other ideas, or maybe something that I could buy here in town?
Well, I was going to go and investigate and ask a few people, but I'm bringing Valis to go read the 5 conventions of the Treaty of Four Seasons. So,
Valis, how important is that?
Oh, it can wait.
Are you sure? It's interesting.
Thanks. I love you. I mean,
Wait, huh?
Kirsten just goes, well.
I mean, if that's okay, I would love to learn what Kirsten would be able to dig up.
Sure.
What, again, you're trying to increase your magic capacity. I've sort of found the best item that would do that. Is there something more particular that you're looking for?
Okay, so I've heard of this item, this thing. It like stores spells, and it's like a ring. The ring of, I can't remember what it is. Spell storing. If I could find something like that, oof, so good. Like maybe I could buy one in town, or
I actually happen to know there is an individual who possesses exactly such a ring. Ori, you would be best to make that introduction, as it is a member of your family.
What?
I believe your father has a ring of spell storing.
That's not going to be very likely.
That's okay. Okay. Any other ideas?
It's the only one that I know off the top of my head, but I can find something of a similar quality. Give me some time.
If you're willing to dig into it, that would be great.
If I may ask, so the Darklight Brooch is out of the question because Charday is our only means of travel to it, or did she...
It's my only means, but if you have some other way of crossing the Emerald Expanse, by all means, you can do so.
What is the...
You could charter a ship.
Emerald Expanse again?
You could swim. It's the ocean between here and Dominion, the continent that is to the east.
Okay.
I mean, you said it would take a really long time, right? So, I mean, really want that bridge. But, you know, if you'd be willing to just kind of look into... trust you, just like, do your thing. Work your magic.
Okay.
Just in case maybe this... So, having a tune with this item, I know what it can do, right?
Yep.
So, we have... now that I have the prayer beads, I feel like I understand that they can act as a arc light regent. Would that help our travel issues?
No.
Okay.
But Valis, that will certainly help you.
How?
Valis, a long time ago, by your standards, and even by mine, there were things that occurred that made it so that what I am able to say about certain things to certain people is quite restricted. It is a pact, you see. I'm sure that you'll figure this out. But at the moment, my ability to speak is not strictly my own.
Insight check on Cheshire.
I would like to
We're talking about this song that's stuck in our head.
hear for deceit. What's going on?
Make an insight check.
With him. 23.
There is no deceit that you can detect. As far as you can tell, he's what he's saying is true, or at least he believes it.
So what?
There's an element of what he is saying that he's not especially happy about it.
What kind of
childish, almost like a nursery rhyme?
What kind of essence would be powerful enough to get Hearsome into a pact is now what I'm wondering.
Make a history or arcana check, your choice.
As Cheshire's humming this nursery rhyme like tune, does Billy recognize it?
What is the tune? Make a history check.
Dirty 20. And I went with history.
With a dirty 20, I mean, you're talking about somebody who could get an archfey into a pact. Would probably have to be another archfey or somebody of a similar kind of level of power. I didn't know. It's interesting. In all of your reading and in all of your research, there are different sources of power that people can kind of obtain power from. You've heard from what Evelina has spoken about, similar kind of pact to an entity like that. You've heard her talk about Sir Nunos quite a few times now at this point. It's crazy. Quite a few times today. And you kind of recognize that like there's individuals that are that powerful, and those are mostly mentioned. You hear about like Sir Nunos and Sylvanas and all these individuals. In your reading, it's almost like people are sometimes talking around somebody. And because they're talking around them, hard to tell who that might be, but you feel pretty strongly that there is somebody, there's at least several people who that could do this. Sylvanas, Lady Titania, give me 1 second here. Oberon, certainly. 1 second here.
What did you take from Shage?
Stomach.
Yeah.
Do you feel okay with parting it and giving it back?
We tried.
Okay, but you're acting like we tried to hand it back and she said no. We went to where we thought she was going to be and she was already gone.
Realistically, she doesn't even know that it was stolen.
Oh,
Could have been
correct.
discovered.
She doesn't know. We know that she knows it's missing. We were told that she sailed off, presumably to try to go find it.
What if we were just to return it?
That's what I thought. I'm trying to control F the name that I'm looking for here.
Fearsome said he thought she would kill us, or at least Menka.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't want that.
I'm fine with returning it. I do want to research it if we can.
If we're going to your home, do you think that
We
there's
have to
someone
go
there
to
who
the
could help?
Osenlock.
It's possible. I want to get into Yasuma for sure.
Ori, you would also know Sarula Ilien is an individual who may be powerful enough, and this is somebody who is kind of like an elven god. One of the Sealy court. This is an individual who is kind of known amongst the Nixies and other such folk. You know about Kenoth the Exsanguinator, probably somebody who, if they still exist, and that's kind of a contentious thing because they were last seen in the Onyx Spire, they would be somebody who might be able to do that. Xandaroth the Wanderer has not been seen in millennia, but perhaps an individual. And then Lolth, another person on that same kind of power level. There seems to be another person that is just kind of spoken around. But those are the names that come up in your mind.
Like a whisper on the wind kind of name.
Make an insight check. Meanwhile, what was your insight check for Cheshire?
My insight was 21, but my history check for that song was 11.
Okay. Oh.
Could I also make a history check? And she whispered to me earlier, and I just didn't know I could make a history check on it.
Yeah, sure. 22.
The two worst people to make history checks on a song you learn in childhood.
With a 22, whatever it is that Hearsome is talking about, this pact, in the books that you have read and the things that you have heard about, I mean, you've never heard mention of this. And so whatever it is must be pretty powerful.
16. And in addition to that, I'm also going to see if Javaris has heard of it as well.
What are you asking Javaris?
You know the song?
Whoa.
The one that The
Is
one,
she still singing
the one
it?
that you know the song.
Holds it up to the
That Cheshire is humming.
It just like puts the beads up against Cheshire's face.
And then remind me, are you doing the Endless March, or which song? Okay, thank you. Sorry, there's been so many songs written because at one point there was the Battle of the Bards.
Hey, remember back then when that was an option?
We
we could have just hung around in Petrichor for like a month waiting for this event.
choices were made.
Instead, we went and murdered a lot of people.
So much murder happened instead.
Peaceful time.
So while Tina is texting me that, I would say that's kind of what you would know in terms of the kind of information that you know. And I would say probably Valis, Javaris would kind of say, well, music is a peculiar thing. It changes so often, even if the song stays the same. For instance.
Can I make a DC 20 persuasion?
Yeah, go for it. Make a persuasion check.
Can I persuade him to focus?
You have to make a persuasion
21.
check to help
21,
to make him
nice.
get to the point.
Ultimately, what I was going to say was that I've not heard that song, but it reminds me of rhymes that I had heard in my time around the Onyx Spire.
So these prayer beads seem to have a person's son who speaks to me, and they say that the song that you're saying reminds them of something they've heard when they were in the Onyx Spire.
Okay, Valis.
I'm sorry. There's a person in those beads who's telling you that they were in the Onyx Spire.
Cheshire's voice all of a sudden. Valis has lost it.
Wait, what? Oh my god, you guys, did we all like, I don't know, increase in like skill level somehow? Forget.
Because you hear some looking around at all of you, just going, well, we've lost the train. So I am going to go wait at the Wincing Manticore and see what I can find.
She's got a song stuck in her head, and that seems relevant.
Turns and looks at you. Perhaps. Is it relevant, Cheshire?
Maybe he knows it. I mean, Hearsom's been around a while.
The mystery might remain. I don't recognize this tune that you're humming. Is there anything else that I can help you all with?
Can I have some spending money?
I've given Billy some money for all of you.
Oh. That was for all.
Can you tell
Does
Crispy
anyone need anything?
that his pickaxe came in great use and we're taking very good care of it. And we'll tell him ourselves when we get there, but you know, since you're going to see him first.
I will pre-tell him for you. I will see you there. And he walks back towards the Wincing Manticore. And you are all left at the entrance to the warm and welcome way.
I remember when we were really cool.
No.
Sorry.
So these beads that I found, they used to belong to someone, and I think I can still talk to them. Or maybe I am going crazy.
Cheshire sidesteps a little bit.
I don't know. I mean, I've heard. Well, that's a thing. Like sometimes items can have people in them, right? Like, is that something Alina would just generally know about the world?
Yeah, you've heard about that.
This lady, like Brenna, had like an axe with a dry. Oh.
Probably wouldn't know. Probably wouldn't know about that.
No. So like, I mean, I buy it. Is he helpful?
That remains to be seen. He does, and get to the point very quickly.
Is that why you keep going like?
Am I doing that?
Like a lot.
Yeah.
I thought it was just
one of the
because you
things-
lost your mind.
I think I still have it. But these beads are gonna let me cast some spells.
Ooh.
And the one of them, I think is a spell called Legend Lore.
I've heard of that one.
So if anyone wanted me to like use it for something and tell you the results, I can do that. That's why I brought this all up.
Should we cast that spell? I was gonna say on Hearsome, but that's good.
The song?
Sure.
I don't know if it works.
Wait, how many times a day?
I don't know if it
can
works
you-
like that. I think I can cast it once a day.
That's pretty good.
But it usually, in my head, it feels like the spell asks me to name either a person or place.
Oh.
So I don't know if I can use it to recover a song, or an item, person, or place.
Ask it about the Onyx Spire.
I cast Legend Lore on
Alice, the chalk's like, okay, so I have to go shopping. Just give me the short and skinny.
Is Valis just Google now?
Google? I might be.
He has one Google search a day.
Ask Jeeves.
Sort of, yeah. I mean, so Legend Lore is an incredibly powerful spell, and with this item, you guys are getting access to magic a little ahead of your level.
I recognize that, and I thank you, Joe.
So, a couple of things. First,
and I'll go back. I guess I'll go back to the Wincing Manor Core and sit down and do that so I can write it down.
Okay. So, Alina and Ori.
Hey. That was pretty intense. In the mountain.
Yeah.
So I feel like I owe you an apology. I'm just like totally, I don't know. Okay, I think Sir Nuno's might not be good, and I'm really struggling with that, and I think I took it out on you, and I'm sorry. I know that you're doing what you think is helpful, and I'm sorry that, I've been...
No, you're right. I've been an ass. I'm sorry. I've spent a long time just wandering, not really having anywhere to go, and now I have somewhere that I want to go, and it feels like every step that I've taken has gotten me further and further from that.
Where are you trying to go?
I want to go north.
To the Onyx Spire?
To my sister. None of this matters. I know you all have lofty goals. You want to do right by Sir Nunos, kill hags, or whatever Billy's doing. I just don't care about any of that. I finally have something that I want to do, and I can't do it. I'm sorry.
I think we all want to help you. You need to let us,
I know. It's difficult. I've spent my whole life being an oddity or worse than nothing, so it's been difficult to be able to rely on anyone for long before I'm taken advantage of, or worse than that. Is when I was down in the volcano, I thought I saw something, and it made me hate everything that I'd done up until this point. But it wasn't what I thought it was. It was Cheshire, of all people, and Minka, and they were coming to save me, and I hadn't felt something like that in a long time. I will do whatever I can to get north, but I can't do it alone, and I'm sorry for trying to do it.
Alina's just gonna pull him into a hug.
It's the only language she knows.
Or he's got the sour face.
And when the hug is done,
what to do with this?
and when the hug is done, Ali's gonna be like, "Thank you, Ori. I think it sounds like whatever's going on in Minka's home is really urgent. And once we've helped her deal with that, we'll help you too."
Thanks.
We good?
I think so.
I'll try to make Billy be nicer to you.
Yeah, it's weird because I thought she was being nice to me, but then I thought maybe she was trying to get me to make some deal with... What do you know about her aunties?
It's complicated.
Yeah.
But, you know, that thing you said about killing hags? The aunties are hags.
Yeah, I kind of gathered that from when she tried to... See, the thing that's kind of irked me a bit about that is I thought things were going well with Billy, to be perfectly honest, but then it was like she was trying to get me to make some weird bargain, and then she used those soul coins so easily. I don't know how much you know, but...
I think you should really talk to her.
Yeah.
But she's good, you know, capital G, and she's trying really hard to stay that way.
Aren't we all? Well, I will go have that conversation at another time.
Catch her in the right mood, maybe.
You look over, Billy's like shoving a whole bunch of things into Valis's arms right now, like
This one, and then maybe ask about this too.
Maybe if you
like
just
this
let me
place?
know when she's in a good mood next time.
I'll prime her for you.
Thanks, yeah.
Valis, you make your way over to the Winston Manticore to use legend lore on the Onyx Spire. So the Onyx Spire, as you go back, you can see in a flash of an instance a moment where you are in this glorious place, and you know instantly that it's the Feywild, but it's not the Feywild that you remember. This is a place that is so much deeper and more beautiful and enchanted, and this glimpse that you have of it, the trees are taller, there are just crystals that grow from the bark and the moss, there are fairies without number that you can see just flittering through the air, almost like lost in a haze. This is an entirely different and more powerful place, and you are aware that this is sometime in the past. You see an expansive crowd of people in all manner. You see herringons and elves and nixies and dryads, and you see this huge bowl, and they're putting things in. And it flashes forwards. You see an individual who, pale skin, elvish ears, but the eyes entirely black instead of white. And at once you know that this is Kanoth the Exsanguinator. And as they smile and they drop a single rune into this bowl, you see the teeth are long and vampiric in nature. And then it flashes forwards in time, and you can see a dark reflection of the Emerald Spire. The Onyx Spire, very similar, this crystalline structure that stretches up into the sky, but in this vision that you have of it, it is taller than even the Emerald Spire is, and there are areas on the top of it where you can see there are dragons roosting and nesting in places where they seem to be almost primed for flight. You see in the distance huge shapes that kind of swoop through. They're all almost shadows that move through the streets here, and you can hear whispers, and they seem to draw you in, and you flash forwards even further, and you find this dark building, almost like now what you are seeing is insubstantial and not quite real. Make an insight check, Valis.
Is Valis just like holding one of the beads, just like...
Yeah, because
Crispy's like just like sitting at the other end of the table, like.
Crispy's just like, the strong silent type. Huh? I'll tell you about my day then. So he's just like talking at you, and you're like drooling. What was it?
8.
An 8. So as you see this structure, you're not quite sure why, but even with legend lore, you can't perceive it. Like you can see it, and when you really focus, you see a dark brick, but as you try to look at the whole, you just lose it. But there is a building in front of you, and this is where these whispers come from, and in this building, there is something so terrible that you cannot finish the spell. Whatever it is, it's like your mind won't perceive it. There is something within this place that is dark and terrible. And all at once, as you are finishing this spell, you feel like it's looking back at you. But you shake it away. What are the rest of you doing?
I think Minka is going to try to get someone who is better at speaking than her. Looks at me like Cheshire Billy and limited. Just like, can anyone help me ask for news?
What kind of probably help.
Okay.
Depends on the news.
Yeah, I just want to see if anyone around here knows more about that mine collapse. It's so odd. They've been mining over there for a while. They normally don't. Okay.
I'm gonna go find out.
Well, I'm going shopping. If you want to come along, we can ask people there too.
Okay.
Alina, once this conversation is done, would like to go try to find some chocolate again. Okay. And before she goes, she's going to be like, I'll ask every store I go to. I'll ask.
Thanks.
So, Cheshire, Alina, and Billy, all of you make survival checks.
Survival?
Yeah, so in downtime, if you're going to go around and you're going to ask people and try to like get the word on the street about what's going on, it's a survival check.
Not investigation. I have advantage.
I would like to try and follow. I want to try and chat with Cheshire at some point.
Okay, so you start following Cheshire.
Also no good. I got a 5.
Okay.
Got a nat 1, which makes it a 4. Because we're using a dex skill to talk to people.
Survival is
a wisdom skill, actually.
It's a wisdom.
It's wisdom, whatever.
Probably not much better.
17.
It's the same.
Do I have to make one too?
No, you're following Cheshire. That's as Cheshire is going around like talking to people. It's not especially hard.
All right.
And interestingly enough, Cheshire, you find like a kind of like a relatively dirty looking individual who has the look of a miner about them. And though they do not hail from Blackvein, once you talk to them, they would tell you that there was an accident and 12 people died. This was in Darkbriar itself in the Blackvein Lode, which is located kind of beneath there. And he would conclude that by kind of saying, they aren't really talking much, but if you ask me, smells of monsters.
Monsters, you say?
A sticky kind.
Ooh.
Sticky kind? Did you say?
You're stinky.
Anyways, I gotta go to work. He cuts off before you could tell which. That would have been a 20, but with a 19, it's either sticky or stinky.
Oh, man.
Unknown.
Aside from that, the rest of you do not find much out about this. It seems like not a ton of news has spread from that part of the continent. The Magiocracy and the Emerald Spire are not on the best terms. They're not like enemies necessarily, but there's definitely contention around the lake. For the rest of you, so give me 1 second here. Who's going shopping? It was Billy. Billy, where are you going to go shop for?
First, Billy had just polled people to see if they needed any supplies. We don't have a lot of cash, but supplies. No?
I mean,
no?
Outside of just like the standard. Do we buy all the healing potions out? Probably.
If you find any, what was the rock that we're keeping an eye out for?
Oh,
if you find any, insert rock here.
The
maybe you can
amethyst?
grab that one. So it was like a certain kind of amethyst. Yeah.
It was Arcane Amethyst.
Yeah, thanks.
I don't know if 75 gold will cover it.
Yeah, but if you just locate it, just keep an eye out.
Yeah.
Well, in which case, if it's just that, Billy's only hitting up 2 places: the herbalist
and chocolate.
I would like
Motherfucker.
some rope. No. My rope is
You didn't take that with you?
still on the ship. I forgot.
Oh no.
Okay. All right. So Billy's looking for rope. Billy wants to hit up the herbalist for ingredients to make healing potions.
Can you get me a refill of my healer's kits?
Some of that.
Yeah, some of that. At the herbalist.
And then whatever was left over, because I don't think an arcane amethyst is going to be whatever is left from that.
So how much rope are you looking to get?
50 feet.
Piece of gold.
Piece of gold. Healer's kit and potion ingredients.
Healer's kit, I believe, is 15 gold pieces, but give me one quick check. And then what was the other one?
Potion ingredients for healing potions.
So you're going back to that same place that you were at before? Sorry, healer's kit's only 5 gold pieces.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
6. So
A
that's
deal.
94.
So, yeah.
Towards healers.
See if they've restocked since we were last there.
Checking, I forget.
It's been like
As a matter of fact, no.
They have not. No, they have not, actually.
Time moves differently here. It's been 30 minutes.
However, they will sell you a healing potion for 50 gold pieces. A little cheaper than the last time.
Okay.
Can we get like one of those stamped cards? So like every 10th one is on them?
Here, no, but there are absolutely places in the Emerald Spire where there are reward programs.
You guys should really start a rewards program.
Billy's gonna like just say, okay, I guess we bought it out and walk out. Are there any other herbalists in the Emerald Spire?
Yeah, if you want to spend more time doing that and not really go after kind of some other stuff, you absolutely can find that. It just takes more time.
Okay. The other thing Billy was going to hit up was the local jeweler for some diamond dust.
For some diamond dust.
We probably should
How much
restock
diamond
on
dust?
diamonds.
25 gold increments worth.
There's 120 gold pieces of diamond dust available to purchase.
Okay.
So however much of that you want to buy.
Well, it's predicated on how much herbage Billy can get from other herbalists for healing potions.
I mean, so ultimately, the Emerald Spire is large enough that you can get as much as you want.
Okay.
It really comes down to the amount of time that you're willing to put into it. And so if you're going to spend the rest of your time like looking for this, like, you know, the downtime that you have, I mean, how much are you looking to get?
Could Billy get 40 gold worth of herbs to make healing potions with?
That would make about 3 healing potions.
That's
potentially 4.
That's great.
Yeah.
And then 50 gold worth of diamond dust.
Yeah, you absolutely can.
I want that.
You have 9 gold left.
Sweet.
So, you do your shopping. You can mark all those things off, no problem. Shopping in less than an episode.
And then when Billy gets back, Billy distributes. Efficiency.
Look at that.
That's what happens when you roll that 1 on your talking skills.
Was Alina able to find any chocolate? She usually can.
Not at the... Well, actually, give me 1 second here.
Sorry.
Trade chip came in. No.
Oh, there.
The trade chip, yeah.
I'm just seeing, because there's 8 places that have refreshed now. No, not that you've been to.
So then, mechanical question. So this platter that Hirsum gave us,
Yeah.
the food that gets imagined there, does it go away after a certain period of
It
time?
goes after a day. Yeah.
A day, okay. Thank you.
Anything else before this day passes?
Treasure's trading stories with the locals, trying to gain as much what's going on in the world as possible.
Sure. Give me 1 second here.
Not
So with that previous check, you learn that Ebb and Flow is currently hosting, is in the last day of the 33rd annual Ebb and Flow Shellfish Festival. There's been a new invention sent over from Dungannon to allow for easier cooking, and it's supposed to be like a huge phenomenon, like a revolution of this staple of the community. You also hear that the gnomish engineer Elytra Nunscrews Sunini has been selected to head up an expansion of the Beetle Train, which is going to eventually run all the way to the Tower of the Crimson Mage. A general call has already gone out for more labor, lumber, and stone. You hear a little bit about the Blackfane Lode mining operation, but nothing additional. There's more kind of like hearsay. You hear about werewolves. You hear about the stone itself coming alive. There are all different kinds of things that come up. And then you hear that the Shale Marsh Shambler is now petrifying individuals that go after her, but has stopped actually abducting people from the nearby town of Shale Marsh itself. And that's probably what, with a 17, you would kind of turn up.
Okay.
Sorry, the shellmine shambler sounds like a cryptid.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
So like when I design the world, I really try to think about like, okay, so like what are the cryptids of this world? What is the folk tales, and then what is that actually informed from? So like way earlier on in one of the campaign 1 things, you guys heard about the skin stringer or something like that. I can't remember what his name was, but it was really literally just Omen, the predecessor to Heinrich, that like was the failed warlock version of Heinrich, who was like a fat tiefling living in the woods essentially, and had like built up this like crazy folklore due to minor image, but like stuff like that. But the Shellmar Shambler seems to be a little bit more real because they're petrifying people.
something's happening there.
Yeah, it's not imaginary petrification. Those are real statues, still really there.
Nice.
Anything else that you guys want to do in this kind of day in the Emerald Spire?
Do we have any sense of when Warren would be done with the runes?
You hadn't asked, unfortunately.
No, I forgot to ask.
No idea.
No, yeah, figured.
Sorry.
No,
Like,
normal.
It's probably not
Par-
very long, but he's nowhere to be seen, and I'm not really sure where he is.
Par for the course, honestly.
But when you see him, you would imagine he'll probably be done.
Okay.
Next time we see him. He
It's
did
like-
say he was setting up shop.
It's a
and he-
pretty
yeah.
minor project that you've asked him to do. He's used to creating like arcane things, and you've asked him to create.
could you
like,
whittle a
some
couple
chips.
sticks for me?
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
You went up to like a famous comic artist. You're like, hey, can you make some stick figures of my friends dancing? And they're like, yeah, I guess.
Yeah, that'll take me all of
You got some
5
nice paper, so
minutes.
sure. Anything else that people want to do in the Emerald Spire?
I'm looking for Cheshire to...
Yeah, I mean, you can follow Cheshire. You follow Cheshire.
Well, I'm
see
waiting
them
for
interact
Cheshire to
with
not be
people.
in the crowd as much.
Okay, yeah.
Do we have any? Maybe we should have mentioned to Hearson before, but we need more diamonds.
We do, but
diamonds.
we just don't have the funding
Yeah.
because it's 300 gold. Or
In a sort of in-between time, as Cheshire passes through some of the alleyways, you can definitely pull Cheshire aside, or at least catch up to them in a moment where they're alone.
Hey, Cheshire,
What do you want?
I want to talk. Look, I know you're still mad at me. I don't even know what. But I'm sorry. You really hurt me, you know. And I've been holding on to it for a while, but it's not helping anyone. So thank you for helping me back in the volcano. And I'm sorry for whatever I did to make you so antagonistic towards me. But I would appreciate it if you stopped.
Insight.
Make an insight check.
So heartfelt. How dare you?
So heartfelt. How dare you?
Very genuine.
Oh, I'll have to take that.
Well, could you at least not slap me in the face with mud? Or at least also not actively try and get me killed.
I have never actively tried to get you killed.
Or passively tried to get
I
me
may
killed.
have suggested it,
Well,
but I have done nothing. I have in fact saved your life a couple of times.
which is why I am apologizing to you now. I recognize that despite whatever you are still upset with me about, you do care in your own special way.
Stop.
Do you actually want me to? Or,
No, Ori.
alright, well,
Oblivious.
thank you for helping me. And I'm sorry for whatever.
Good stuff.
And as you pull your hand away, there is a shiny pink string that connects you to Ori.
Does Cheshire need
And, like you try to get it off, but it's really like it's like almost like crystallized sugar that's not clean.
Well, I feel much better. I don't know about you, but I could use a drink.
Drinks, yes.
All
Maybe
right.
it'll help me with my song.
I don't have any money.
So. Forgive me. You invite someone out for a drink. Generally speaking, doesn't that imply that you're paying?
Well, I still intend to, but we just have to deal with the situation of not having any money first. But you're usually pretty good at that, so I'll be your dancing monkey if you can strum up a crowd.
Me with a good time.
Whoa! All of a sudden, Cheshire grabs your arm and like leads you down, and there's a big crowd just in front of you. But as Ori heads off to his impending doom, because it is 10 o'clock, this is where we're going to end for the evening.
Perfect.
Yeah. It's a fantastic session. It's like you guys are actually a party now. We are going to be back next. Almost party time. We're going to be back next week. But if you can't wait that long, on Sunday at noon, our original 5th edition one-shot Feast of the Noble Vale, DM'd by Kara, is going to re-air, followed by this at 4:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. But until then, please stay safe. It's crazy out there.
Yeah.
You.
All it said, sign us off. She said, raise your left hand, Joe Treff.
So just do it again.
Oh, yeah. So because it is crazy out there, please stay safe. I'm engaged now, and we'll see you later.
Yay!